and Levine Studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Happy Tuesday here on ESPN 690. Kind of back in the swing of things again. Koo's kind of back from that nice long summer break. School is now back in session. Go and try it again real quick.
You can hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, this is great.
Loud and clear. What was the malfunction yesterday?
The microphone, I think because we didn't use it for an entire week, broke.
Okay. I just want to make sure there's no one like doing podcasts in here or something like that. Which is fine.
Well, I think now, like with the coronavirus stuff going on, like I don't think other than us three, I don't think really anyone's allowed in here.
That's kind of what I was getting at, right? Because like the way I talk on a microphone, not very professional. Like I'm almost eating it. And if you can watch our, if you're watching the view at home from YouTube, Twitch, whatever, Facebook, Twitter, and so on.
Well, no longer Mixer. We had Mixer, but now Mixer's completely
Mixer's gone. Hey, Mixer didn't want to make the money with us, and that's fine. And that's fine.
By the way, I don't want to open a wound for you, but I found
this. Careful now.
Dude, this was insane. The Instagram posted this.
Okay.
Yelich's contract, he's made $13 million.
Yeah.
Ninja, who is, one of the top streamers.
Never heard of him.
$30 million.
Yeah, I mean, well, listen. I mean, do you want to take me off so early on in the show? Because that's exactly what you're doing right now. Listen, I can sit here and say, is Ninja as talented as Christian Yelich? I mean, could Christian Yelich play a game of Fortnite and possibly win? I mean, a
lot of them do. A lot of baseball guys and football guys have been playing video games.
And this is my point. Like, Christian Yelich is probably a 5% chance that he could probably win a game of Fortnite or a game of Apex Legends. What are the odds? And I've seen Ninja in person. I've seen him. He was on what's the show with like they're singing? Masked Singer.
Masked Singer.
Yeah. He was like doing the Dougie or whatever and stuff. He was dancing. It was cool. But what are the odds that Ninja could hit a 90 mile per hour fastball opposite field?
Not at all. Probably zero. Close to zero.
Exactly my point. And what are the odds that Brent Martineau can be here on time?
I just had some business to be taken care of.
I
got a lot of stuff going on. I'm excited about it. I have phone calls happening right around showtime, but that's all
exciting stuff. See, we just thought that we lost, and this has kind of been the joke on the show lately. When you were gone, we thought we were going to lose you with this whole ESPN, kind of changing the time.
You thought I was off to take Keyshawn Johnson's spot in like California.
We thought you were going to LA or something, man. San Francisco, yeah.
Well, after 2 weeks of interviews, I didn't get the gig.
Sorry to hear that, man. Sorry to hear that. Wasn't for a lack of effort, I'm sure, though.
Yeah, no, you're not losing. Unfortunately for you guys, not losing me. We do have some fun stuff going on. I will say that. I tweeted it out at some point during the last couple of weeks. I was like, man, we've been having a lot of meetings, and not just here on the radio side, but TV side as well. A little Action Sports Jax brand, and looking forward to football season. And we got some fun stuff coming. And now ESPN making some changes. Is this official yet, Coos?
Yeah, they posted it at 2 o'clock. Yep.
Okay. Well,
Austin just had a heart attack.
Yeah, I was like, am I about to be in trouble?
I think they said 2 o'clock, so I figured it was. I just didn't see it. And
no, it's up. Yeah,
it's interesting changes, the big time changes at ESPN.
Yeah,
and it won't change our show, by the way, even though some of the hours, at least not yet, that I know of, but. Some of the hours, like with Kellerman and going like 2 to 4 or something like that, I think you only get an hour of that.
We have that full lineup of what they did. I adjusted for our show specifically, so I left that blank on the lineup, but that is up on our Instagram and Facebook.
Really interesting move. I mean, listen, Golick and Wingo, I think, had a nice run. There was a lot of talk that Wingo was kind of on it, didn't love doing the morning stuff along with everything else, and maybe would get out. I didn't see the Golick thing coming, but if you go back to Mike and Mike, I mean, what a run they had. I mean, they will be forever etched in like sports radio history, I think, as a success, and maybe help change the sports radio game. Many others are in that, from the Fan up in New York to others. But Mike and Mike are a huge success.
Yeah.
And so kind of trying to piggyback off that once Greenberg went to Get Up and they started shuffling things around. There has been a lot of shuffle at ESPN on the national side over the last couple of years. So this will be interesting. I think they have some new, fresh faces and fresh voices And by the way, I'm okay with that, to a degree. It's something we try to hear a little bit with the freshness of it. But I think it will take some time. I think some people, it will always come with criticism. ESPN gets criticized so much because they're the leader. They're kind of, they pave the way. And people don't always like change. So it will come with a lot of criticism. But it'll be interesting to see how it sticks and if they can get some consistency out of it, too, so they're not shuffling all the time.
Do we know what happened to our boy Fitz?
Fitz will go, I think, in the nighttime. So he's so far. They really like Fitz.
Spain and Fitz. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they'll be back to Spain and Fitz. Is that what it is? Yeah. And
I just realized that he was on with Spain back in the day with Spain and Fitz.
Yeah,
that's why they call it that.
Yep,
I totally didn't. Okay.
So they've got. I heard there was some talk about them, at least out of the New York papers, and they write about this stuff a lot. There was some talk that Le Batard and them would be off, and they were thinking about which is super successful.
You don't want to do that one. I mean, listen, I have no qualification to say how they should run their business, but I'm just saying I think from Dan Le Batard's perspective and Stu Gott's, they're kind of like the alternative of ESPN, right? Yeah. And I think they have a huge following. If you get rid of those guys, I think there's going to be a lot of outcry.
Well, and I don't think they were going to get rid of them. I think they would have somehow kept them, but off the main radio waves because they are such an alternative to it. They're killing it in the podcast world. And so there was some talk that it's almost too far off ESPN's brand of talking sports.
Sure.
I guess. Yeah. And so they decided to stick that one out. We'll see how it goes. But that's a highly popular show across the country. And I think at least at one time had the best podcast in the country.
Correct.
Or the most listened to. Rogan probably has passed that by, or maybe he's right up there with him. I don't know.
They're probably the same ballpark. Yeah. I mean, listen. If Stu Gatz ever goes to whatever the Spotify playlist and gets $100 million, well, there you go. Because that's what Joe Rogan did. We talked about that a little bit.
That's right. Yeah. He was able to get away and go there.
$100 million for a podcast, Brent. You know,
we're working on it.
We're getting there.
Right now, we're worth about $1
for sure,
and we'll see if it goes anywhere from there. I will be interested to see what they do with all the different platforms. ESPN has too, because they put the stuff on TV, so it's not totally different than kind of what we're doing here. We're just putting it on the social media channels a lot more.
Sure.
And so maybe they're taking a peek at what we're doing down here in Jacksonville, and they say, hey, we should put it on social media channels more too.
Yeah, I'm sure they're copying our blueprint. It is what it is. We're not going to ask anything for it. It's all
working.
Good. Yeah,
it's working. So hope you're having a good day, everybody, on a Tuesday. It's just going to rain automatically at 1 o'clock in the afternoon all the time. When did the shift happen? I need to talk to Boris. I was asking Steph this, okay?
Yeah.
Because here's what's annoying to me. Like Florida, when you grow up and you come and visit, and everybody's like, hey, it's going to rain for 20 minutes in the afternoon, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You're like, okay, I get it. Yeah, it cools down a little bit, or it gets super steamy right after.
Right after, humid, yep.
That's how you grow up with Florida, like if you're not from here. Like, okay, it's raining in the afternoon. Well, somewhere along the way since I've lived here, the 3:30 storm to 4 o'clock or whatever time has shifted to 12:30 to 1 o'clock.
Which is perfect when I have to leave to come here.
Oh, by the way, that's like around the 15th hole, man.
That's
like, why do we have to do that? Like, we got to has something changed in the atmosphere? That now we're
hit up your boy, man. Hit up Mike Burrish.
I got to check with Burrish on this, but over the last few years, I swear that line has shifted from 3 to 4 o'clock to like 12:31, 1:30 time frame.
He realized he can hold out for more money. Today. He's like, "Yo, you want it later? Throw me a $1.50."
He has that kind of power, absolutely.
And actually seems to last a lot longer too. I mean, it might be coming back later today. So
yeah.
These aren't your 20-minute showers.
No, I mean, it is Florida, and weather is going to weather. I'll tell you what, when I was back home in Wisconsin, didn't want to. I mean, all due respect to you guys in the show, it's fantastic.
How nice was it?
Didn't want to come back here though.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't want to come back to Florida. Didn't want to get off the plane and kind of have little problems breathing because of the humidity, not because of COVID-19, but because of the humidity. Brent, I'm talking. It's the Midwest in July, man.
I'm talking like upper 50s at night.
No, yeah. If at night, I mean, I'm talking 85 degrees during the day. No humidity, nice little cool gust of breeze, and then at night gets down to about 50. Sweatshirt, bonfire. Say no more.
So what you're saying is you don't like it to be 110 and you sweat looking at the window.
What I'm saying is when it's 10 o'clock at night and Brent invites me to his house for his outdoor fire pit, I'm not going to take part because I'm going to be sweating my off.
Unless we move to Wisconsin.
Unless we move to Wisconsin.
Rhode Island.
Yeah.
We used to go in the summer when we go up to Rhode Island or we went to this place, this little camp area up in New York for a couple of summers, and it would be like low 70s in the day. And seriously, low 70s, because I've got some Facebook memories that said like 73 degrees or something in July or June. And the kids would have sweatshirts on. They'd be cold. might be cool.
love it. Yeah.
Like the
Just
7th, they're like,
soft.
what is this?
For sure.
yeah.
Just soft. Well, and here's the crazy thing, too. Like, we haven't really talked about this yet. But think about how much it's going to suck being a rookie this year for the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Because you have the rookie mini camp. You have the OTAs. You put the pads on for the first time. You take a step outside, and yes, you're drenched in sweat, but at least you're acclimated to it. You mean to tell me that this rookie class, probably the biggest rookie class in Jaguars history, is going to step outside for their first time during training camp, and you think it's going to be all, and check the numbers, hunky-dory? There's no way, man. Like, it takes time to get adjusted to this, and I say it all the time. Especially in the first couple games of the season, if they're in Jacksonville, it is an advantage, even though you don't think that.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and how they're going to react to it and how they're going to adjust to it, and just are they in shape? And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today, okay? We're going to talk 4 preseason games, down to 2 preseason games, down to none. And I think J.C. Treader is the president of the NFLPA right now. Honestly, I don't even know the guy very well. I mean, is he a center?
I never got an email regarding who he was for the NFLPA, so I don't know who he is.
But he's president of the PA. He got voted in like this past year.
Hey, next time drop me an email. Let me know who you are, bud.
And an important time, by the way.
Yeah.
Because of the CBA stuff that was going on, but now also this. I mean, this has been a big-time position over the last few months. So what's going on? Well, I thought he brought up some pretty good points, some valid points about not playing any preseason games. So is that where they should head? Does it make sense? And is there enough evidence based off your 2011 lockout and what happened after that to say, wait a minute, what are we doing here? Let's make sure we really have 16 games. Let's make sure we have a postseason. Let's make sure we have a Super Bowl. Let's make sure we have those things. Let's not worry about the front end of this thing. Let's worry about the long term and the back end of this thing. I want to start there. We've got some thoughts on the Washington Redskins name change. What else could it be? What else will it be?
Yeah.
Where do you go?
Yep.
Is this the perfect time, by the way, for the Redskins to change their name? I have a thought on why I think it could be. That has to do with their fan base more than anything else. Not really the times, but their fan base. And we'll get into that a little bit today as well. Some more controversy. Players, they have a voice. People are listening. They're saying things. Well, when you say the wrong things, they're listening too, by the way. There's not just a pass. And Deshaun Jackson, the Philadelphia Eagles, the NFL, feeling a little bit of that. Yeah. And that's a trendy topic. And what do you think about the ESPN changes on the radio side? Are you looking forward to it? Do you like a little something different? We're not going anywhere. Sorry about that. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. And we roll on right after this here on a Tuesday.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms will be diminishing through early this evening. A partly cloudy sky, and then we drop into the low to mid-70s overnight. Partly cloudy Wednesday. That morning sun will give way to midday and afternoon showers and storms again with a high in the upper 80s. And partly sunny Thursday. Scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms and in the low 90s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where you can save 20% off store-wide during the summer super sale, July 16th to the 19th.
Boss, check out this headline in the Crooks R Us newsletter. Big Blue Alarm now allowing contact center employees to work from home.
Whoa, all of them?
Not quite. Says 88% of Big Blue employees are working from home.
Wonder if their customers know that the people monitoring their alarm are probably sitting at the kitchen table in their underwear.
Hey, maybe that's one of the reasons Big Blue doesn't have a guaranteed response.
That is an excellent point. Too bad Safe Touch Security isn't more like Big Blue Alarm.
Wishful thinking, boss. Listen to this. Safe Touch Security still leads the way with the fastest response time in the industry. Boss, how do they do it?
Doesn't matter. We still gotta stick to the Crooks R Us motto. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Do that and we'll be fine.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
This is the biggest news in diamond jewelry, so listen closely. Don't miss out on Beard's Diamond Summer Super Sale.
4 days only, July 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Receive Beard's already unmatched prices, plus an additional 20% off.
All designer engagement rings, all eternity bands, all wedding bands, all diamond bracelets, all diamond earrings, and all gemstone jewelry.
Plus, get an unbelievable 20% off over 1,000 GIA certified loose diamonds. But it's for 4 days only.
July 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th.
20% off your favorite diamond jewelry. You won't get a deal like this anywhere else but at Beard's Diamonds.
It's Jacksonville's biggest diamond sale for 4 days only. July 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Beard's Diamonds, located at the St. Johnstown Center.
Or beardsdiamonds.com.
See the difference. Save thousands.
Wondering what CBD is and if it's right for you? Come in and talk with the professionals at iHeart CBD, located at 11645 Beach Boulevard, Suite 103. iHeart CBD is Jacksonville's premier CBD state. Hemp-derived, certified organic, and tested in-house and through a third party. Products include pain creams and hemp flower. No medical card required. Join the many Jacksonville residents who are finding major relief with iHeart CBD. 11645 Beach Boulevard, Suite 103. Or call 904-619-9274.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nia Hurd-Garris with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Every year, hundreds of teens drown. If your teen hasn't learned to swim yet, it's never too late. Even if your teen is a strong swimmer, make sure to supervise kids of any age. No one should swim alone. Teach them to enter the water feet first, wear life jackets on a boat, and never use alcohol or drugs on the water. Drowning is preventable. For more, visit healthychildren.org.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 podcast. Just search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
What's interesting to me is that, it's the second that the big corporations start to put their names behind it. What's interesting, especially interesting, is that FedEx, when they come out and say that we've been in touch with the Redskins and essentially want to see the name change, it's important to keep in mind that Frederick Smith, the CEO of FedEx, is a minority owner of the Redskins. So it's not like as simple as saying that the namesake of the stadium wants to see the name changed. It's one of the owners.
That's Jeff Darlington from ESPN talking about a topic that's been pretty hot over the last week when it comes to the Washington Redskins for the most part, but also the Cleveland Indians are in this conversation as well. And you do wonder if others will be. At times the Atlanta Braves. From that all the way to, even college teams like the Seminoles. Again, every team, every organization has its own story, has support or protest against, and has been for a long time. So the Redskins, though, have been the most prominent. I mean, they're one of the most prominent organizations in sports. Now, they've been somewhat irrelevant as of late because, quite frankly, they've been awful. And it's happening, right? I mean, the Redskins put out a statement last week and said, hey, we're looking at this. And when you're reviewing it, guess what's coming? Change is coming. And this is one that's interesting to me, Austin, because, we have Black Lives Matter movement right now. Over these last few months has been so strong. And it affects and impacts it seemingly so many people.
Correct.
Right? And not to say that there are not a lot of Native Americans.
Yeah.
And, of course, part of the history of our country in a big, big time way. But I just don't know if it's top of mind all the time. So the Redskins protests, the Redskins angst over their nickname has kind of come and gone,
Well,
at times. It's not like this wave.
Well, see, here's the thing, though, Brent, about that, right? Like, there's been a group of Native Americans out there who have always despised that name.
Yes.
Right? And that term is considered a slur, right? And you're right. Right now, the Black Lives Movement, everything, we're bringing everything to light. And I think we talked about it, 2 or 3 weeks ago about maybe eventually we'll see the Redskins change their name. Well, I think it's happened then, you or I, faster than we've anticipated, and which is great. It's great to get that conversation going and that dialogue going. But it just makes you wonder and listen, and we can pick and choose what we want to believe in, and we can pick and choose what we want to fight for. But this name in Washington, it's always been there, and it's been there for a long time. And a group of people have felt offended by it. A group of people hear that name, and it's like, it cuts them down. And to be fair, I don't think a lot of people have come to the Native Americans' defense. I don't think a lot of people have come and said, you know what, we're with you. We stand with you. I've never heard really any like NFL players speak out about that. I've heard NFL players speak out about Drew Brees, but I haven't heard NFL players speak out about the Washington Redskins. And once again, I'm not trying to pick sides here. I'm not saying, well, this is right. No, I'm just saying that should have been a topic for a long time. And I guess I'm finally thankful that it's coming to light, even though it's probably a long time coming.
And I guess, I'm not even throwing an opinion on this. That's what I'm just presenting.
Yeah.
It's not always top of mind. It's not always got the support, the angst, the back and forth, the come on with us, as now the Black Lives Matter movement certainly has in the last few months. But again, there have been periods of time throughout really the last half a century and even more so, going back to civil rights acts and Martin Luther King to Rodney King to Colin Kaepernick to the last few months, right? It just doesn't feel like the Redskins name change or other sports teams' names change have had that much discussion over the years. Well, here we are. And it takes just what Jeff Darlington said, big dollars to make the impact.
Yeah.
It shows you the power of not only big money, but big companies, big supporters, sponsors, and said, hey, they're the ones that started this, from FedEx to Pepsi to others, said, hey, it's time to make a change, right? And that's the motivation here. Yeah. I mean, Daniel Snyder's not moving on this because, this is the time. Well, it could have been the time the last 5 years. What's interesting to me is, and I don't know the Redskins fan base in and out, okay? I've been up there for games. It's a good fan base. It has been. Obviously, it's a rich tradition from, Joe Gibbs to Doug Williams to, beyond, the Hogs, Joe Theismann. I mean, they got a great history, rich history. Yeah. And part of that history, you feel it when you go to NFC East venues, I'll say. If you go to Dallas, you feel the history. If you go to the Giants, you feel the history. You see it with tailgaters out at like 7 a.m. Seriously, it's different. If you go to Washington, you feel it, even though they stink the last handful to 10 years.
It's a super passionate fan base.
You can, with the stadium and kind of how it sets, and it goes like parking lot to parking lot to parking lot, like down a road, and it's got rows of buses of people and tailgaters. I mean, it's a strong fan base. Well, at least from what I can gather, if you started looking at the stands over the last few years and the disdain for Snyder and what the Redskins were doing, there was a lot of talk that they had lost a lot of their fan base. Not completely lost, but the fan base had kind of been, I've had enough of this. I ain't coming back until you change it. And that's not the way it is in Philly and New York and Dallas. They stick through those times.
Oh, through the good times and the bad times.
Well, the Redskins had stuck through enough bad times and said, you know what? It's time to change. We ain't coming to the games anymore. And there were articles written and people said, hey, they've lost their fan base. They're losing season ticket members. They're losing folks that have supported the franchise for a long time. So my point to it is those are the people I think that are going to be most forceful, that have supported the franchise for decades and decades and decades and know the Washington Redskins as the Redskins football team, and that's our nickname, and we don't think it's controversial or offensive. Those are the people that are going to fight to try to keep it. Well, those people ain't fighting for anything for Washington Redskins right now because they want to see more winning football. And I'm not saying across the board, but you get my point.
Yep.
So along with everything else that's going on in our world, where we're seeing a lot of changes, we're seeing time to give this stuff thought because more people have time to give it thought and spark change on a lot of different levels of a lot of different things. So it might be the right time for that. But for Washington in general, I almost wonder if it's a great time to try to change because, heck, their fan base is like, we don't care what you do except win.
Sure.
will you start winning and putting a good product out there? You get my point?
And that's the thing about professional sports, Brent. I think that's the thing about collegiate sports as well. You know, whether you agree with changing the Gator bait chant, whether you agree with, changing the stadium at Florida State, regardless of what you think about that, to being a fan, the most important thing should be winning and losing, right? It's hoisting those championships. It's going around telling your friends that your team won and your team lost. And now I'm excited. That's what sports should be. And if you're a Washington Redskins fan right now, you should be more concerned about, man, how do we get back to the glory days? How do we get back to going to the playoffs, man? It seems like RG3, that was 100 years ago when he, almost tore his leg off for Mike Shanahan. Like, how do we get back to the glory of Washington football? How do we do that? Now, once again, getting back to, should Florida State change their stadium? Should Florida change the Gator? I mean, there's arguments on both sides. And I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I'm 100% on this side and the other side is wrong. No, I'm not going to say that because, once again, tradition and everything like that, I can see both sides. But to me, the Washington Redskins name, it's non-negotiable, okay? Because it's technically a slur. And if that's the case, and I get it, we always talk about, Brent, the times are changing. Well, the times should have changed on this name a long time ago, okay? Now, it just so happened that a lot of things have transpired the past couple months that have got us here right now, and you know what? So be it. But I'm just saying, in terms of if you're a Washington fan, I don't think you're too worried about the name changing. Now, there's going to be a small percentage of people out there, I think, that, grew up with the tradition. How are you going to change tradition? It's always like that. But at the end of the day, man, whether it's in nature, whether it's in society, you either learn to adapt or you get left behind. It's as simple as that.
Well, I think there's probably more than maybe you're even saying that will be against the name change.
Yeah.
Again, more so from a traditional standpoint than it is about the actual name.
Correct.
I think that's just what they're used to, and people don't like change.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little example of this on a totally different level, and I'm always reminded of it with the Chicago Cubs. So we're at the NFL draft a few years back when it was in Chicago. Mm-hmm. This was prior to them winning the World Series. But keep in mind now, the draft was in April. Heck, it might have been the year it would have been maybe the year prior to them winning. And we get these seats on oh my gosh, it was freezing out. And we just go buy seats, but we end up coming back down because there's not a ton of people there. It's a late April night, and it's windy and it's cold in Chicago, but we're going to Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
And so we go to Wrigley Field, but since they had put the new I think they elevated the grandstands and kind of remember you could see the game in the park from the apartments out and right, and they changed something to that. They put a video board up.
Correct.
They were changing all these things, and kind of getting away from some of the Wrigley that was Wrigley,
Oh, I mean, trust me, 10 years ago, it was the old school ballpark. It was just the organ playing. There was 0 scoreboards. Everything was done by hand. Yeah,
everything
absolutely.
done by hand, all that stuff. So some of that was changing. Mm-hmm. And so it was really a kind of cool thing. We end up sitting in front of a guy, and again, there's not many people in the rows, and we start talking to him a little bit, and his family is a third-generation season ticket holder of the Cubs.
Okay.
And his family lives seriously 2 blocks from the stadium. And so he's had season tickets to the Cubs forever. And so we're talking about some of the changes going on, and he's like, yeah, I don't like it at all. I mean, of course, why? Because, he grew up a Cubs fan the way it was. He don't want to see that change.
Of course.
That's Wrigley Field, man. Don't touch Wrigley Field. So you get that. Well, he also is like, you know what? I don't care how many jumbotrons, whatever they put in, if these blankety blanks would just win a World Series.
Yeah.
And it was just so you can do whatever
that's
the heck you want,
personification
but
of professional
just
sports.
win, man. We've been waiting forever to win.
Correct.
Now, listen, the Redskins, it hasn't been 100 years since they win, but that's kind of my point, right? How much would you put up for in Jacksonville? Even some things that you might disagree with. Mm-hmm. For whatever it is. People disagree with a lot of things. Mm-hmm. But how much would you be like, yeah, I'm okay with that, I'm okay with that, I'm okay with that, just get me a Super Bowl?
Of course.
Right?
Without a doubt.
We kind of have fun with those kind of topics sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think that's my point to the Redskins thing. It's this is a time where should it change? Probably should change a while ago, right? A lot of people would say that. Is this the time to do it? Yeah, it might be the time to do it. But I'm talking from the fan perspective side.
Yeah.
I'm even if they're against it, I think what they're now doing is saying, you know what? Change our name to the Tiddlywinks. win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Win games. Make this fun again.
Exactly.
That's what we want.
And listen, if you're kind of in my age range right now, you're listening to the show, if you're in your 30s or 40s, and let's just fast forward the clocks a little bit, and let's say that one day you're sitting on the porch with your grandkids, and it's like, Grandpa, tell us about the old days of Jacksonville Jaguars football. You're not necessarily going to go to the Jalen Ramsey era right away. You're not going to go to the dual colored helmets right away. You're not going to go to, playing 2 games in London even. What you're going to go to is, did you win or did you lose? That's the biggest thing is, did you win championships? Did you go to the playoffs? Man, I remember 2017. Man, we went to the AFC championship game. We were so close to winning it. Miles Jack wasn't down. Those are the things that you bring up first, because that's the joy of being a fan of either a collegiate, high school, pick your poison here. But even professional football, where it's like, yes, the name can be important and the tradition can be important, but at the end of the day, it comes down to whether you win or lose. Jacksonville Jaguar fans right now, they would trade the coolest jerseys in the world or whatever, the coolest slogan in the world if they could go to the Super Bowl. They would trade a lot of things for that. So that's what should matter, Brent. And once again, I understand because, the Jaguars, in totality are a newer team than, the Washington team is. But at the end of the day, man, I'm sure every Washington fan just wants to win a Super Bowl just like everybody else does.
Yeah,
and that's the most important part.
By the way, I'm not saying just a Super Bowl, just kind of be relevant again.
Correct.
Like the Washington Redskins are irrelevant as a franchise. Mm-hmm. They really are. Now, they hope Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio and Dwayne Haskins bring them back, but they're irrelevant, man. I mean, they have been really nothing outside of a moment here or there of Kirk Cousins and since RG3. Right?
Yeah,
I mean that's been the last time.
Sprinkle a little Adrian Peterson on there, and that's about it. But it's nothing even that big.
So here you go. There's odds, about what they would change their name to.
Hit me with it. I like it.
Why is the Red Tails so popular? I know Dwayne Haskins actually said something about that.
Yep.
But that's plus 200 odds. Presidents is plus 300. They're going to really call them the Washington Presidents? Really?
I like the Red Tails is supposed to be for the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an homage to that.
It was a movie,
and that's why.
But now here's the thing, though. Their formation wasn't in Washington, though, was it? Is it just?
I don't know. I don't know if he just said it, but anyway,
red. Okay, whatever.
This at least what I'm seeing, I think it's Odd Shark that I'm looking at. Red Tails is plus 200. Presidents plus 300. I can't imagine they'll be presidents. Yeah. Generals. I don't know if you want to be the Washington Generals because everybody associates the Generals with the Harlem Globetrotters beating them every single time.
You don't want to be them, no.
The Memorials doesn't seem like a nickname. Is anybody the Memorials? Never heard of it.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why they just couldn't go with like the Capitals. And I mean, I know there's already a team in hockey, but why not in football?
Yeah, you can't.
I just don't think you could do that.
You got the
very
Cardinals
confusing.
in both.
But it's not the same city, though.
Yeah.
I know, but
I think it would be hard. I don't think you could do it. The Lincolns, the Americans, the Capitals are on here, by the way. The Veterans, Kings, Roosevelts, Monuments, Redhawks,
the Washington
Renegades. Heck, the Renegades sounds a little USFL-ish to me.
I was going to say, it sounds like a little XFL to me,
Renegades is also a thing
that an XFL team?
That's a big TikTok trend right now, too. So
Jeffersons, Arlingtons.
Brent just cut you off. It's fine.
Hogs.
I like the Hogs, man.
Hogs makes some sense, doesn't it?
Oh, the Hogs. I mean, can you imagine the Hogs of War? Then you can go. I mean, maybe we're not going to go there, but Hogs of War would be cool. Yeah, man, I like the Hogs.
Hogs would be kind of cool. In a day and age where like the jumbo shrimp, I know it's minor league baseball, it's a little bit different of a game, but where you like the branding is big, right? Mm-hmm. The importance of that. Well, the Hogs already have a brand with Washington, and you could really do some cool things with the logo with the Hogs, probably, right?
Well, here's the thing, though, Brent, and this is the $1 million question. Do you go Hogs, Hogs, or do you go HAWGS? The Hogs or the Hogs?
I think they would go HOGS.
Okay.
Well, and part of that is, like, I don't think, like, there's not really an accent in Washington, is there? Like in that part of the country?
Oh, probably not.
You know what I mean?
No.
So like if it catered more to like what it sounds like sometimes, like they might have actually spelled like if the Jaguars were from like North Dakota, they might have spelled them JAGWARS or something.
Yeah.
Or WIRES. The Jaguars.
Jaguars. Yeah.
But I don't think you'd do it in. I think this would be just the Hogs.
I got you.
The Snowflakes are plus 50,000.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Of course they are.
But anyway, I guess Red Tails, to be honest with you, outside of the Hogs, the Red Tails,
well,
I think I would vote for it too.
I like the Red Tails a lot.
It's hard to come up with nicknames that people don't have anymore, unless you just go off the radar, which is what minor league baseball has done.
Well, and the reason why it's kind of taken off right now is because like there's some mock, like uniforms, I guess, that someone has made, and like all the players are retweeting them. So here, kind of check out what you think about these here, Brent. I'm not mad at it, like the logo and everything, and plus, like you got to keep in mind for branding purposes, like you're still keeping your colors. You're still keeping the colors of the original name, and now you just, you change it to Red Tails. But, like, I think you can do a lot of stuff with that.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at it.
I'm okay with it. I think it's happening. Some people think it will happen before the 2020 season even gets going. I'm not sure it will happen that quickly. Just think about, when things like this happen, even sponsorship stuff happens or you change. Think about how many logos change. Like, I would like to know when the Jags changed their logo, right, a few years back.
Yeah.
Like, how much stuff, we still see the old one, how much had to change around town, and how much did it cost? I'm always fascinated with the cost. Like, you'll never really know, but how much would it cost to change everything? Well, and I'm not talking about just taking, like, Jalen Ramsey off the big banner at the stadium. I'm talking about everywhere in town.
For sure.
The Jaguars, the logo change. And now even the Shrimp had to do that. But I wouldn't say the Shrimp logo was everywhere in town as prominent as the Jaguars was.
You think about even just from a really, really small scale, like if we were to change the ESPN 690 logo, think about how many Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the stream, the hats we had made, the polos. Like
we're talking 8 things, Brent.
But that's what I'm saying. And we're like super... We're not. I mean, we don't have it everywhere.
But we actually already did it because, like, our Action Sports Jacks logo changed from like it has a black logo to the white logo, and I still see that black logo popping up all over the place.
Yeah, I still use the.
That's kind of drive crazy.
The cartoon we have of you guys still has the old one, and I use it all the time.
Yeah, we have an alternate.
The alternative one, yeah, for all aesthetics, if you will.
Kuz brought up a good point before we go to break. Mm-hmm. Okay, Kuz, you want to share the story?
Is it the bathroom story?
I'm stealing this one, Kuz, from you. You can do this on WAPE tonight too, but I like this one. So give us the story.
All right,
boss man calls you.
Well, yeah. So the boss man calls because of the changes happening, and we're talking about how we want to, cover the announcement on social media and what we want to do. And so I told him to call me whenever, because I was just grilling up some chicken before I came in. So I ran to the bathroom and he started calling me. And I was like, well, no way I'm picking this up. I'll let it go to voicemail, and then I'll call him back. And I called him back immediately. And so then he jokingly was like, that's a power move, letting it go to voicemail and calling me back. And I was like, right, but I'm not going to pick up the phone with my boss while I'm in the bathroom. That's weird. Like I would actually, if a friend called, I'd be more willing to pick it up than if it was a boss. But I put that out on social media, and so far, most people are saying, no, you pick up the call. It's okay.
Oh, really? It's not okay.
It's weird, right?
That? Give me some names right now. We're getting rid of those people. I mean, unless they're listening to the show, then yeah, by all means, keep listening. Listen, it's a common courtesy. Like if there's somebody else in the bathroom and you're on the phone, that's not very courteous. That's awkward.
Well, I think he was at his own house.
Oh, you're at your own house?
Yeah, I was at home.
Oh, yeah, then you're fine. I thought you were here.
No. But
I still don't pick up the phone on the.
Oh, yeah, then you're fine. I mean, okay. Let me think about this real quick before, because it could.
It's not like I haven't before, but there's a big echo in there.
Just going to say this.
They will know what room you are in because of the echo on the call.
All I'm going to say is this. If there is some audio from you going to the bathroom, let's just say it like that, then absolutely not. You don't get on the phone. But if there's no noise and there's a little echo, then I think you're fine. But you have to be mindful of the noises that you could possibly produce. I'm trying to say that in the nicest way possible and not get in trouble on our show, but you get what I'm talking about. As long as you can do that, then I think you can be on the phone then. I thought you were in the building, Kuz.
No, I was at home.
Well, and that's another part of it. I mean, some people probably have no shame, say, in the building. I don't think you can do it.
Yeah. I'm not going to point anybody out, but it's happened to me before here when I've been going to the bathroom and someone came in on a business call. I'm like, all right, sounds good, man.
Just finish that call.
Yeah, just finish that call. No
good
big
luck.
deal.
Hope you made the sale.
Well, then, Brent, what do you think? So you don't think if you're in the bathroom, no?
Well, I agree with Kuz a little bit, too.
Yeah.
I'm like, if it's my buddy Pat, like I talk to all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. I'll be taking a pee when I'm talking to him. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if it's like somebody from work or somebody business-wise or somebody that I'm not that comfortable with.
Yeah.
That comfortable with.
I'll take it even.
I probably would not answer.
I'll take it even to another level. Like if I'm playing video games, like you wear a headset so you can talk to people. I'm taking the headset off and muting it and leaving it in the other room when I go to the bathroom. Like because that's weird. I don't want people to like either be talking to me or hear me.
Be honest right now. If Brett Martineau called you at home, 7:00 on a weekday, and you're playing video games. Do you let it go to the voicemail? Or
for sure, voicemail.
Oh, wow, Brent. You hear that?
That's why I've probably called Coos 3 times in my life.
because at that point, I'm like, oh, if it's really important, he'll text me.
This is why people text.
I guess so.
Right,
you know? But I feel like a phone call is like urgent, obviously, because Brent doesn't really call us that much.
I'll probably think something crazy has gone on,
Yeah.
not pick up. But I won't double tap it to make it to go to voicemail early. Like I'll make it look like I actually missed the call. And then I'll send a text, say, hey, sorry, what's up? And then see where we're at.
There we go.
There's
a method to your madness. See, I don't put that much thought into it. If you sent me right to voicemail, like I don't think about it.
Oh, I'm so disrespected.
Like,
I am
really?
so.
Oh yeah. If it rings twice and goes, I'm like, oh, you just hung up.
Because that means like the battery's
guys
not
are
dead.
mentally
the
weak.
battery's not dead. So you saw me call.
Soft.
And you have it in your mind and said, you know what? Not right now. Click. At least just hey, listen. If I call you, let it go to voicemail. Don't just hit.
One
ignore.
click stops your phone from either making noise or vibrating, and then just let it go to voicemail.
Well, I apologize to everybody I've done that to,
So
but
disrespectful.
I didn't mean anything by it.
So disrespectful.
And by the
It's
way,
like
anybody
texting
I've done
me
to that to, and you're offended by it, you are mentally weak and soft, just like these two are.
I can't wait till you call me next time. Well, hey, I'm wanting to talk. I have Dana White for your ringtone, so I guess I'm the most disrespectful.
I have another common courtesy thing. I'm not sure how to put this in. Like, I don't know. I did something last night in the neighborhood. I'm not sure you're supposed to do.
Did you meet your neighbors finally?
Were you letting off more fireworks?
Nah, I didn't do that either. But I want to check with you guys and see if this is a thing or not. But then we'll also talk some sports as well. 2 games, 4 games, no games. What do you think happens in the preseason? What should happen? The latest from the NFLPA president on ESPN 690.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Land of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. If you didn't catch today's episode, I'm not mad at you, not even disappointed, but check out what you missed.
People used to tell me all the time that I sound shorter than I am.
Your voice is like a little higher pitched, so like
probably.
So you think of like Lollipop Guild from Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah. People are like, when you talk, I think you're walking down the yellow brick road, but when I see you,
yeah. Check out our podcast on all platforms. Just search ESPN 690. Subscribe to our podcast. Thanks.
It's time to get out there and make one-to-one contact. Yep, that's what we said. Make contact with the right potential employees. If you're a hiring manager or run your own business, this is the time to reimagine your workforce. It's time to build that diverse talent pipeline you've never had time to focus on building. Career Builder can help you match your business needs with over 140 million job seeker profiles. These are proactive job seekers who have the time to research and care about your company and its culture. And when you're ready to rehire, Career Builder will help you staff up more quickly with a 98% match rate, meaning Career Builder matches your open roles with vetted, qualified candidates right to your inbox. Visit hiring.careerbuilder.com to view our products, post a job, get insider advice, and let our technology connect you to top talent. Now, more than ever, we're working to support the mainstream American workforce and to help you rebuild fast. Visit hiring.careerbuilder.com. Career Builder, we're building for you.
At Diamonds Direct, nobody tells our story better than our own associates.
I hear from customers that come in how shocked they are. They're able to, only with Diamonds Direct, afford a diamond that they never in their wildest dreams thought they'd be able to get.
People are just thrilled with what we offer.
We have exponentially more to choose from. The resources that we have, all the way from our wholesale routes, really untouchable.
When you come here to Diamonds Direct, you know it's something special. You know it's something that is one of a kind, and you got that at such a phenomenal value.
To be a jeweler and have this kind of firepower, we
We have all these mountings, all this selection, all these diamonds, and incredible prices is just unmatched.
And I think our customers appreciate that we are so open and honest about every part of this process.
What they're surprised by is the extent that we go to provide an unparalleled, luxurious shopping experience.
This company has a 60-year heritage in diamond cutting, diamond mining, diamond wholesaling. So there's no possible way to get any closer to the source than with Diamonds Direct.
We won't be undersold.
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Store hours and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, it helped me pay for my house.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
There's a new modern patient-centered orthopedic practice in Jacksonville.
We believe that the patient pays money for a doctor and should be seen by a doctor.
Ortho Edge.
They're getting the most technologically available medicine there is.
Ortho Edge.
You're going to get a much better experience with your physician. We all see our patients.
Get the answers right away and more focused care on patients.
Find out more about us at orthoedge.com.
Ortho Edge. We're in the DePaul building attached to St. Vincent's Medical Center, Riverside.
If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and school just isn't for you, earn while you learn by enrolling in the Clara White Mission Workforce Training, designed for 16 to 24-year-olds and no experience necessary. National certifications include culinary arts, OSHA, HAZWOPER, forklifting, environmental training, and more. These programs are customized for low income and disadvantaged. Make your way to the Clara White Mission Training Center at 613 West Ashley Street. Call 904-354-4162 or visit clarawhitemission.org.
Okay, boss, here's the house. Been watching it all week.
And you're sure it only has a big blue alarm system?
Yep. That means we should have all the time we need.
Yeah, still can't believe Big Blue Alarm is allowing their employees to monitor alarm systems while they're working from home.
Yeah, let's see, how many times do I get distracted when I'm at my house?
Right? Let's just hope the Big Blue operator monitoring this house just started binge-watching a TV show.
Meanwhile, right across the street, Safe Touch is still as steady as can be with the fastest guaranteed response time anywhere.
And that is why we're standing on the outside of the house with the Big Blue alarm.
Just following the Crooks of Us motto, stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah. All right, let's get busy.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Internal Revenue Service. When you owe a personal or business tax debt and can't pay, just hearing those 3 words brings feelings of fear and anxiety. I'm Jonathan David Suryash, Managing Tax Attorney at J. David Tax Law. Everyone knows that if you owe the IRS and don't pay, it's only a matter of time before tax liens, wage garnishments, or bank levies happen to you. The first step to resolution is our no-cost consultation. We take the time to go through your specific tax problem step by step. We explain exactly what your options are and how we will resolve your tax issue. J. David Tax Law is a local firm right here in Jacksonville, where only an experienced tax attorney will represent you. Our fee payment plans are affordable for everyone. If you have tax problems, call us now for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777, or find us on the web at jdavidtaxlaw.com. That's jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
As the major nonprofit safety net organization in Nassau County, Barnabas Center has been on the front lines throughout the pandemic, providing critical assistance to those in need of food, financial assistance, medical and dental care, and mental health services. Barnabas thanks its many supporters that have given hope to thousands of struggling individuals and families. For information and to support Barnabas, visit barnabasnassau.org. That's barnabasnassau.org.
This is the biggest news in diamond jewelry, so listen closely. Don't miss out on Beard's Diamond Summer Super Sale.
4 days only, July 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Receive Beard's already unmatched prices, plus an additional 20% off.
All designer engagement rings, all eternity bands, all wedding bands.
Plus, get an unbelievable 20% off over 1,000 GIA certified loose diamonds.
July 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Beard's Diamonds.
Located at the St. John's Town Center.
Bring a little spice into your sex life. Adam and Eve Adult Store. It's the trusted name in adult entertainment. Secure private shopping experience at AdamEveOutlet.com. That's AdamEveOutlet.com.
Spay or neuter your pet. Help them live a longer, happy life. First Coast No More Homeless Pets has free and low-cost programs available now. Make your appointment today. Call 425-0005, 425-0005, or fcnmhp.org.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jackson, ESPN 690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and on your smart speaker.
When we think about the future of the NFL with people like Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson and some of these great young players, we like to tease around the office. Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't fit into that 27 because he's 28. But this is the future of our league, not just with quarterbacks, with great young players at every position. We're happy to have him as a Kansas City Chief and happy to have him here in the Super Bowl.
Sometimes Roger Goodell sounds like he's like having a cocktail party. Like, it's good to have Patrick Mahomes at the house tonight over at the cocktail party from 6 to 8. It's like, doesn't it sound like that?
Yeah,
It
man.
was.
Absolutely. Playing Cards Against Humanity at like 10 o'clock at night. Yeah,
Just so, it's so bizarre. The tone of it's so bizarre. But interestingly enough, Coos found that from back at the Super Bowl. And very spot on for today after Patrick Mahomes signs that big deal. Just amazing, the contract, which, by the way, ballooned really. More details came out up around $500 million.
Yeah.
There's language in those contracts that I've never even heard of, the kind of language. You know, the mechanisms, guarantee mechanisms or something like that. I think that's the fun of it. See, I think I tried to do this in my contract one time. I tried to put, I don't even know if it was here. I don't think it was here, actually. It was back in Albany. And, you know, by the way, my contract, not anything like Patrick Mahomes.
Not quite, huh? Missed it by that much.
But I tried to do something like, let's just say it was $30,000, right?
Okay.
I was like,
which means it's about $120,000. Okay, go on.
Let's just say I tried to do $30,333. And they're like, why? I was like, Larry Bird.
Oh, gee. Of course he did. Did they agree to it?
No, they didn't.
Oh, they didn't.
They wouldn't do it. Like, why wouldn't you do that?
Good for them.
I think they like
because
round
of Jordan
the numbers.
fans. No, go ahead and take 023. How does that sound?
Why wouldn't you do that?
Go ahead and take 23 instead. How does that sound for everybody?
So, but I think those things are fun. Like, and I looked at some of the stuff that came out on Mahomes' contract. I was like, that looks like a fun. Like, they almost had fun doing this deal.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously it's crazy money. You know, you're setting the new standard. You know, historical contract, yes, it is, but it might be for 10 minutes because it seems like these contracts change all the time. Now, this one might set the market in pro sports for a while. I don't know if anybody else is coming up and is going to make over $500 million in the next little bit.
Yeah.
So, but my point being is, like, they'll go back someday and they'll do a 30 for 30 on Mahomes' contract, and you'll see the ins and outs and how it all came together. I don't know if I'm just a geek on that stuff or I think that's fun. I think the creative ways, like this guaranteed mechanism thing that we had never really heard of, and maybe it's a thing, but we never really heard of it.
Yep.
I think that stuff's fun in these contracts, especially one of historical proportions.
Let me ask you this. You get that much money, Brent, what's the first thing that you're doing with it?
Getting a haircut.
No, man. Keep it going now. You're that Bradley Cooper, A Star is Born status. Keep it going.
Speaking of haircut, by the way, a quick little story.
Yeah.
I'm on TV Sunday night.
Yeah.
And I get off TV at 6, I'm on for like 2 minutes. Right? 2 minutes, 6:54 to 6:56.
Sure.
And I get off and I have an email from this nice lady. And all it says is, Brent, what has he done to his hair?
Yes.
Looks awful.
Oh, wow. Hey, lady, there's bets on the line.
It was fantastic.
So are you guys going to go? I mean, no one's budging right now, right?
Nobody's budging.
Hey,
so I would buy the other guy. I'd buy George Washington a haircut, too.
I'm just saying, though, you're still winning. That's all I'm going to say. Hey.
Thank you.
You're winning.
Sorry, Marie.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know, man. I do not know. People say that all the time. Like, what would you do to win the lottery? I've always said this about, I'd like to think I'd still work.
Yep.
Those last 2 weeks were pretty nice, though. But I do say this, like, I want to work, and I want to buy that building across the street and make it into the best sports department TV and radio has ever seen.
I like it.
Build this my own sports party over there.
So here's the thing. We don't have enough time for it right now, but
we do it on the other side.
My third year in Jacksonville, when I was in the training room, me, Rod, and Justin Bland, who were some of the physical trainers in there, we made a list of things. If I got my second contract, what we're going to do with it. I had like 4 or 5 things written down.
I want to hear them.
And then all of a sudden, Gus Bradley came in, and all of a sudden the defense didn't work for me anymore. I went to Kansas City, so I never got my second contract. But we had plans, man. We had schemes to do some stuff.
I love my man Gus, but this is perfect to be able to say. Some would say it didn't work for Gus and the Jags either.
Hey, it's all good though, man. It's all love.
At least here in Jacksonville. Yeah. When we come back, what you would buy with that contract, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Or at least even a tenth of that contract.
Yep.
And we will get to the preseason. Do you really need games in the preseason? Some of the players don't think so. Next on ESPN 690.
How much money would you like to save just by doing something you're already doing? How about 40%? With Allstate, safe drivers can save 40% just by doing something they're already doing. Driving safe. That's right, 40% just by driving safe. Visit Allstate.com or call a local agent for a quote today and see just how much you can save when you drive safe with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Savings vary based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Home Depot makes it easier than ever to get going on your summer projects without having to go anywhere. With convenient online shopping, you can find it fast. With convenient delivery options, including free delivery, you can get it fast. Whatever you need, whenever you need it, the Home Depot delivers right to your door. Now with more ways than ever to get summer and summer projects off to a good start. Delivery options from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Hello, business owners. We're all in this together. Our company, CMG Jacksonville, knows you need clients to trust your brand. We have the right people and the ideal platforms to help you do that. It's important to advertise now, more than ever. Now, to create an unbreakable loyalty to your brand, CMG Jacksonville can help you make that happen.
Hi, this is Melissa Williams, media consultant at Cox Media Group, Jacksonville. I help connect people and grow businesses. I'm ready to get to know your business and provide you with creative solutions through radio, digital, events, and more. Let's build your brand. It's what I love to do, and I'm ready to help you grow your business and exceed your goals. To learn how I can help you, call me 904-245-8544 or email buildjax@cmg.com. That's buildjax@cmg.com.
Say hello to your new secret advertising weapon, your own branded mobile phone number. StarStar Mobile provisions vanity mobile numbers prefixed by StarStar, providing audiences an easy way to reach your business. Give it a try now by dialing StarStar Mobile from your mobile phone. That's StarStar Mobile.
Wondering what CBD is and if it's right for you? Come in and talk with the professionals at iHeart CBD, located at 11645 Beach Boulevard, Suite 103. iHeart CBD is Jacksonville's premier CBD state. Hemp-derived, certified organic, and tested in-house and through a third party. Products include pain creams and hemp flower. No medical card required. Join the many Jacksonville residents who are finding major relief with iHeart CBD. 11645 Beach Boulevard, Suite 103. Or call 904-619-9274.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Responded to receiver DeShaun Jackson's Instagram post, which featured an anti-Semitic message. No discussion of a suspension or termination has been raised with Jackson to this point. He has apologized for the post. Today, Patrick Mahomes spoke publicly about his new contract that keeps him in KC through 2031 and could be worth up to $503 million. Mahomes says he's happy to get the security he's wanted and for the Chiefs to remain great around him. Regarding a dynasty, KC's looking at 2 windows here, including the 2020 season, explains the Athletic Chiefs reporter Nate Taylor.
The Chiefs have a championship roster in place. They've retained 20 of the 22 starters from last year's Super Bowl team. So they're trying to repeat. The second window is as this deal sort of grows, and how well will the Chiefs draft, and how smart and wise can they be to identify certain veteran players coming off of their rookie deals in free agency.
Nate Taylor on First Take Your Take. Wizards guard Bradley Beal won't play in the NBA restart because of a right rotator cuff injury. He's not expected to need surgery.
With thousands of locally owned Napa stores across the nation, chances are that wherever you call home, they do too. So whether you stop by a local Napa Auto Parts store, Napa Auto Care Center, or visit Napa online, you can count on Napa know-how.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
For me, I think I've been in a unique situation where I've grown up getting to see a lot of guys go through contracts and doing a lot of different things and having an understanding of how it all works. For me, obviously, I want to be a Chief for a long time. I want to have a contract that says that, and that I can go out there and know that I have that security and everything like that. But I understand and trust the Chiefs organization and everybody in it that they're going to handle it the right way. I trust my representation that they're going to let me ease my mind and let me go out there and just love the game that I've loved playing. And so for me, whenever that happens, it happens. But I'm going to focus on being the best football player I could be every single day.
That was pre-10-year, $500 million contract for Patrick Mahomes. Right now, he's too giddy to talk. On his way to the bank. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Jared Rice is going to join us in just a moment. But before the break, you said you guys had planned what you would do with a second contract.
Yeah.
Well, your first buy.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You see players all the time, right? Buy mom a house, buy a car. James Conner, I think, just bought his dad a truck and his mom a home, I think it was. I saw on social media.
Yeah.
We'd all like to be able to do those things if you can. Athletes usually more in a position to be able to do it based on the amount of dollars and sometimes the guarantees and the bonuses, depending who you are. I don't know. I think a lot of guys end up buying cars. I mean, that's what they do. They buy cars. I don't know how many of an athlete would just go flat out say, hey, I'm going to go buy a $400,000 house in Queens Harbor and I'm going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if athletes do that or if they rent or if they just pay a mortgage like the rest of us. I mean, if I had that kind of money, I'd probably just buy it outright.
Yep.
I might not live in a $400,000 house either. I don't know. We'll see. What did you come up with if you got your second contract?
Yeah, so keep in mind, this took place in the training room because I used to get my ankles taped all the time, right? And we always had this conversation.
So you could have been on medication is what you're getting at?
I could have been on medication a little bit, but keep in mind, though, like, I saw these guys every single day. And like Brent, you see, like when I go out to the practices, still like Rod's still out there, man. We still joke around. But like we had a vision because there were some of my closest friends on the team at that time. We had a vision where if I signed my second contract, what we're going to do. And all I remember is first we were going to start up by we were going to get a stretch limo, right? Pretty standard. We're going to get a stretch limo probably on a Saturday, maybe a Friday, probably a Saturday, and we were just going to have a full day of fun. The first thing that we talked about is we're going to go to Adventure Landing, rent the go-kart track out for 3 hours, and just have us race go-karts the entire time. Nobody else could go. That was our first thing. Second thing was we were going to go to Taco Bell, and we were going to buy 100 Doritos Locos tacos to go, and then have them in the limo with us.
Nacho cheese or Cool Ranch?
Cool Ranch, obviously Cool Ranch. And that way, if somebody on the side of the street was hungry, we could throw one out the window, or if people want to get on board, have some lunch with us, there you go. Next thing, now it's starting to get a little later at night, right? We had 3 hours of go-karting. Brent, we're a little exhausted. We were going to go to every single beach bar, and I was going to buy 100 bottles. It was supposed to be Miller High Life, and they didn't have Miller High Life, then Corona. But every single beach bar, we'll go to the beach bar, 100 bottles on the table, please, boom. Next beach bar, 100 bottles on the table, please, boom. I was like Robin Hood, basically, right? I was trying to be the Robin Hood of Jack's Beach. Now, got to be careful this next one because it's a family show. I understand that. But we were going to go to a gentleman's club, let's just say. And, well, I'm sorry. First, we were going to go to Target, and we were going to buy board games.
There's a little difference there.
Sorry. We're going to go to Target.
I don't know.
Sorry.
It might be the same.
First, we're going to go to Target, and we're going to buy, like, Monopoly, and we're going to buy Risk and a bunch of board games. Then we take those board games, we go to a gentleman's club, and we buy the time of all the performers, and we sit down and we play board games with them. That's all it was. Just play board games, because you know what? One day I get to say, you know what? I played Risk with so-and-so. I played Monopoly with so-and-so. And then finally, what we were going to do is we're going to get a suite at a hotel and have it set up where we pay the guy at the door a little extra money, and we can go on top of the roof and finish our night taking shots of Jaeger bomb a la The Hangover 1. I like they did in The Hangover.
That is not what I expected.
Really,
when
though?
you got your next...
it's not what you expected?
It kind of is, though. It fits.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was the plan. We always talked about it. Never happened.
I'm surprised you needed
Probably
a second contract for that.
Well, you know, man, I have to keep my money pretty close to the chest.
Did you calculate how much you thought that night was going to run you?
We didn't calculate it. No, we didn't calculate it. Let's just say that.
I don't know if Jared Rice is still on the line after that. But if he is...
Oh, my bad, Jared.
We welcome into the show, Executive Director of the Players' Championship.
See your journalistic talent on this transition from that discussion to talking players and golf. But no, you go right ahead. I'm right here.
Absolutely. I mean, well, now we just got to get our golf game in order, win one time on the PGA Tour, or win the Players' Championship, and we could have a day like that.
There you go. Absolutely. Well, well, first of all, appreciate you all having me on. I know it's been a while since we were able to get together on the back patio of TPC Sawgrass, the clubhouse there, in preparation for this year's event. So it's been some time since then, and just again, appreciate you having me on and for all the work you've done through this period of time, entertaining and keeping us informed. So really looking forward to catching up for a bit today.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hope you and your family are doing well. What's this time been like? I always refer, and forever in at least my world, I will always refer to the Players' Championship as kind of like, where were you when, right? I mean, that's kind of where we all were in this area. This part of the state is at the Players' Championship when things kind of stopped and shut down, and the world became how we know it the last few months. How have you guys been over the last few months? What have you been up to?
Well, I think it's a great point. It's one of those things where we're so focused on the position that we're in as a sport, to be very lucky to be coming back, and we're competing. We're on television. We're doing some great work for charities in these communities, and we're very fortunate in that respect. And to think back that where the sports world really came to a stop was here, and it's not certainly a badge that we're flying with pride, but it was a really it was a challenging week for us, and I just think again, this is one of those instances where everyone from our partners to our players to our our media partners like yourselves handled everything so well, and was so informative and communicative, and ultimately, while the health and safety of everyone involved is the ultimate priority, and we had to make the decision that we did. It was not an easy one, and we're certainly looking forward to next year, and plans are already underway for that, and we kind of have to look forward.
Jared Rice with us, Executive Director of the Players' Championship here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Players 2021 is what we have to look forward to now. Let me ask you this, because I think it was dismissed right away when asked, could the players be made up? Could you have it later in the year? Why was there really not a lot of consideration to that? Was it more the venue? Was it more the calendar? Did it ever pop back up that, hey, maybe we could do this later in the year? Any insight on that?
Yeah, I think that just, as you look at what we're all facing and how every day it's a little bit different, and a fluid situation is something that, I mean, how many times have used that terminology in the last 10 weeks? That while this is the flagship event of the tour and the league is based here in Ponte Vedra, we have a responsibility to not only our players but the entire sport of golf. So certainly for a period of time that there was any number of considerations that were being thought about, but it became very clear just in that window of time that as we looked at the course of the overall season, that it was in the best interest to again formally cancel the event and look forward to 2021. So it's not an easy thing. The scheduling and what goes behind it. It's absolutely remarkable, and the teamwork that's required to successfully stage these events, let alone schedule them, is absolutely incredible. So we're fortunate to be able to get back, and we certainly would have loved to have been able to get the tournament in completion, but unfortunately we got to look forward to next March.
Well, I will say this: everything that's been done by the PGA Tour, by I think the Players Championship during that week, and most everything by Commissioner Jay Monahan as well, I think has been received pretty well across the board. I mean, obviously, everything is criticized, especially in times like this. But I think the PGA Tour, the players, Jay Monahan, have done a terrific job getting back to golf now, and now looking ahead. There are advantages to everything, man. I'm a sunshine and rainbows guy. March 2021. Will this break? Will the not having the tournament? Are there some advantages to doing some things maybe in this interim? That maybe you wouldn't have had? Is there anything like that?
Well, I think just to go back to your point, a couple of things. One, to your point about how things have been handled, I think as you look at our players and, first of all, Webb, the past champion, is playing so well, and, some of the things that he and other players, like local players like Jim Furyk and Billy Horschel, are doing for charity and for this cause are just really endemic and emblematic of our sport, and we're very lucky to have it here in our hometown. Thinking back to the events of the match that was obviously down in South Florida, and that seems like again so long ago, right? Mm-hmm. But that was again some immediate steps that our players took to really try to bring back some normalcy and again be able to impact charities, which is at the core of who we are, and a really cool thing to think about through this transition. So to your latter point, just how the sport right now is, we've got a great opportunity. You think about from the coverage perspective, we're seeing some great ratings, and we have center stage and a great opportunity to show people how great athletes these players are, and how they can do some amazing things with a golf ball. And from a fan engagement perspective, our partners at DraftKings have seen some unbelievable uptick. So it's again, there's like you said, there's positives to this, is that we have center stage and ability to really grow the sport.
And Jared, when you talk about positives, obviously right now the landscape of all professional sports, it is different, and sports have to adapt and everything like that. But from the golf perspective, from the PGA perspective, obviously with the Players Championship, we didn't get a chance to see it come to fruition. But are you going to take some things that you guys have kind of learned from this whole pandemic thing now with the PGA Tour and maybe apply them going forward to places like the Players?
No question. And again, you think about some of the whether it's technology or logistics and operations. You've seen even some of the telecast, the utilization of drones, so for improved footage. We've mic'd up some players. Ricky Fowler was a past champion, was the first person to do that. How we integrate with technology has always been something very important to the Players Championship, but now we've really doubled down on that as a necessity for our entire sport. I mentioned sports betting and how fantasy and sports betting is, an opportunity for us to engage a new set of fans, and how that integrates with the game going forward. So it certainly is. And then from a fan perspective, we have always prided ourselves on being, the best fan experience in sports. So from a health and safety perspective, as we look to 2021, we know there'll be steps that we need to take that are different relative to everything from sanitization to overall health and safety, and we're well into thinking about that as well as getting the course ready for next year.
Jared Wright's with us, Executive Director of the Players Championship here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, along with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane. Two quick ones for you. Word is stadium course just reopening next week, I think. Did a little drainage project around 17. Was that a big thing or just a little cosmetic thing?
I'd say probably more cosmetic, and what's interesting about this time of year for sports fans and your listeners is that this is the period of time where we do a lot of maintenance and preparation in order for the course to be looking the way that it does in March. And again, it's getting into the weeds, literally and figuratively, but having a firm foundation allows the overseed that happens in October to look great. So if you work backwards, this period of time that we've been closed for maintenance is really critical to looking great in March. And so, sure, one of those things is cosmetic to 17, but there are other nips and tucks that we're making to not only make sure that the course looks fantastic for fans on television, but also plays at the highest level that's expected. So we're soft opening next week, and then be open for broader play at the end of the month.
Yeah, well, testing the drainage is not a problem these days with some of the rain we've had. So that's
exactly.
That's good for the guys. And last one, you guys do so much. You mentioned this already about the PGA Tour, but you guys, the Players Championship here in Northeast Florida, how much you impact local charities, how much you guys give back. It's such a main cog to what has become this international event and the PGA Tour's big event. But obviously so much of the dollars were missed. And we talked about players and what Feeding Northeast Florida and Billy Horschel did and others have done even in the area. How are you guys dealing with that part of it? What are you guys going to be able to do? Maybe it's more time than money this year on the second half when it comes to the Players Championship. How are you guys treating that? Because I know it's such a big part of what you do.
It is a big part. It's a challenge, and we think for all of us that things are around the world here locally will never be the same as they were in the past. But one thing that won't change from a player's perspective is our core mission to deliver economic and charitable impact to this community. We're not going anywhere, and that is central to how we operate and how we ask the community to engage. And so it is really important to us, I think, as you think about and read how the community is engaging, whether it was Billy Horschel and his family benefiting Feeding Northeast Florida with the proceeds from his playing here, the Players Championship, whether it was the $700,000 and $700,000 worth of food that we donated immediately post the tournament. Those are some of the steps, and obviously I mentioned Jim Furyk and Tabitha and their family foundation and all that they do here. Our players here locally do an amazing job, and we're going to continue to look for ways that we can be held accountable to benefit the local community. So not having a tournament will have an impact on dollars, and that's those are tied. But again, we are working hard to get back to those levels. And one thing that is really clear to us coming out of this year is really how great our local sponsors have been at getting re-engaged and ready to go for next year. So we feel really confident we're going to be able to do great things and going forward.
No doubt you guys will do that. Let us know if we can be a facilitator of that in any way, shape, or form. Jared Rice, Executive Director of the Players Championship. Glad you're doing well, man. Enjoy the rest of the summer.
Absolutely. Appreciate everything you're doing, and talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.
You bet. That's Jared Rice from the Players Championship. It's hard to believe it's been that long since the pandemic really started. Again, the clock started there for us, I think, right? I mean, that's where my mind will always go to. Yeah. I know it's different for people, right? Around the sports, people say, well, the night the NBA stopped. Yeah. And it wasn't really like that for us. To me, it was those 24 to 36 hours with the Players Championship that wasn't going to be played. When's it going? How's this going to work? No fans, and then bam, done, and everything seemed to shut down.
And also don't forget, too, Brent, WrestleMania got canceled during that trip, too, remember?
I don't.
I'll never forget, we're on the course. Brent, this is some of our highest viewership ever, remember? We're bringing people to, how can you forget about that?
That actually is right. I have a snapshot of that. That was some of our highest viewership ever. You're right.
because WrestleMania got shut down. You know what? It was a bad day for everybody.
It was a bad day. We were in between. Now you're reminding me, we're in between 12 and 13.
Exactly.
I'm dreaming of birdies and eagles.
Exactly.
And you're dreaming of body slams.
Exactly, man.
I still can't get over your day if you sign that second contract. By the way, why don't we just plan on doing that kind of day if we sign a second contract here?
It's a good call. Why not, man?
I mean, probably could trade it out or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if my wife would be like super pumped on that now. Now that it's out there in the
adjust
airwaves.
it a little bit.
Yeah.
Adjust the last part of that.
Going to Target and Gentlemen's Clubs, going out to Ruth Chris for a nice family dinner. You know, you got to change some things around a little bit. Yep.
Yeah, times have changed.
Times have changed
in many different ways. Have times changed to the point where we are willing to say we don't need a preseason in the NFL?
Mm-hmm.
J.C. Tretter, the NFL Players Association president, has, he wrote in a blog, and he basically said, listen, we decided amongst our task force that we need 48 days to get ready. So do the math on that, folks. That's about 7 weeks.
Correct.
Which is really interesting because if you asked any college coach, remember when they were asking, okay, how much time do you need to ready? But, back like 2 months ago, people would be like, well, we really could use 8 weeks to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
We might be able to do it in 6 weeks, but we really need 8 weeks. Well, these guys and their task force kind of fall right in line, right in the middle. Just about 7 weeks, 48 days to get ready, to feel comfortable, to be like, hey, I'm back in game shape. And this is something that I'm on with the players. Listen, I want football.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I care that much about preseason football, and quite frankly, from a business standpoint, we kind of do over at CBS 47 and Fox 30. We would like to have preseason football.
It helps us out, too, for our jobs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the players on just, present both sides. And I hear where the players are coming from on this. First of all, it looks like we're going to have 2 preseason games. And we're not having 4.
Correct.
But we're going to have 2. But none just to create that 48-day window and get ready for the regular season. I'm kind of on the player's side on this. I think it makes a lot of sense. He brings up 2011. That was a time frame you were playing. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this in the past, where when you came back from that, not just you, but players were more, the injury rate was up. Mm-hmm. They were more prone to injury. I think he brings it up. Like I said, hamstring injuries were up like 44%. Achilles injuries were up a certain percentage, and overall injuries were up a certain percentage.
Yeah.
So guys were getting hurt. Because when you train at home versus when you train at the facility and with your teammates and everything else, it's different. And I think the layman's terms of that is as easy as this. When you were training at home and not going to your gym because it was closed during the pandemic, but you were still getting your work done, right? We were going on walks at home. We were doing virtual workouts in our living room. We had like boxes of water that we were lifting instead of weights. We're doing all this stuff, right? And you're like, hey, I'm getting it done. I feel like I'm trying my best to get it done. Mm-hmm. But then you went back to the gym that first time, and oh my gosh, it was like you hadn't done anything for like 6 months.
Yep.
Because it's different. And so I get what the players are saying here, and I don't think they're wrong. I think you are going to see injuries up. I think you are going to see guys that aren't in great shape or the shape they need to be in to be playing that game, that violent game of football. I think Tretter and the players have a point.
No, it's an absolutely great point. And you kind of touched on it a little bit in terms of training. Listen, you can go on Instagram right now. You can go on Twitter, and you can see these guys doing their workouts, and they're all in shape. Shirts are off. Chazon looks like he's a Ninja Turtle with his shirt off. I don't know how he's got that Mike Allstott neck roll just in his traps, but I have to get that, dude. That's legit. He looks menacing. I like it. But so they're obviously getting in it, and that's great, man, okay? That's what you want to do. You obviously have to build your body up for the demands and the gruels of the regular season. Cool. Sounds great. But there's a difference between going in the weight room, bench pressing, squatting, going on the field, even doing like your drill work. There's a difference between that and being in the dog days of summer, wearing full pads. You're tired, you're fatigued, and all of a sudden you got to go out there, on a 10-play drive, and you better not get hurt. That's when a lot of the injuries happen. It's not necessarily right away. It's when you're fatigued, when your mind's kind of a little cloudy, and you're dealing with 90-degree temperatures here in Jacksonville. That's when the risk of injuries can happen. And guess what? It's hard to mimic that in the weight room. It's even hard to mimic that when you're on the field doing your position work, just because you're not going to be wearing pads. I mean, maybe you're wearing a helmet, but you're not going to be wearing full pads. You're not going to be going through 3 hours of meetings before that, and you're going to be just drained. You don't do that. So it's hard to get the true quote-unquote football shape just by doing that. So I do agree here with the decision. Possibly we'll see with the preseason games, But keep in mind, and we kind of talked about it for the opening segment, you have a bunch of first-year guys right now that have no idea what that heat is going to be like. I was the same way. When I got drafted back in 2010 and I was getting ready for the spring workouts, I was running hills every single day. I was doing sprints every single day. I came into camp in great shape, but I couldn't mimic the heat of Jacksonville in, central Wisconsin. Just couldn't do it. It's that different, okay? And when you have a bunch of rookies right now that aren't really acclimated to this kind of weather, it's going to be a rude awakening. So keep in mind, if you're Doug Marrone right now, it's all about trying to find that balance. Like, yes, you have to get started. Yes, you have to implement this new offense, possibly this new defense, all this stuff. You have to set a culture and, kind of rule with an iron fist a little bit. But you also have to make sure that, listen, a lot of these guys right now are not acclimated. Sure, they've worked out in the offseason, but they're not ready for this. So you have to kind of bring them along slowly.
And I wouldn't even say acclimated to the heat. I would say acclimated to the NFL.
Yeah.
That means their first real acclimation to the NFL might be a real game.
Yeah.
Like it could be a real game. But that's the reality of it. That's tough. I get it. That's really tough for Jacksonville, maybe. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But that could be the flip side. That could be very detrimental to the Jags because they have so many young guys. And you're right about the acclimation to the heat, to camps, to the different – all those
meetings,
things are right.
Everything.
But I do think a lot of these guys haven't even been in the building in Jacksonville yet, right? A lot of them have not.
They don't even know where their position rooms are yet.
They don't.
Oh, and by the way, we have practice day one. Have fun.
Yeah, or – we have practices, but we're not going to have games. Now, in that sense, they are used to that a little bit from the college days. You don't have exhibition in college days. Let's bring Steven in real quick. We got to get him in before we go to break. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. He's been hanging around. Steven, what's up, man? What you want to talk about on the preseason?
I agree in a way. I think we should have 2 preseason, 3 and 4, get rid of 1 and 2, extra 2-week practice there. But these undrafted free agents need a chance to get a roster spot. I know J.R. Reed and Luke Barku are gonna have roster spots. I already know that. But they need those extra 2 games to at least prove themselves to get a roster spot. I believe that, and hopefully they take the fullback Connor Slomka they have, because I'm sure Austin can testify to this. The best running Jaguars have ever done is when they have a fullback.
Well, this will be the hardest year to make a roster for an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
you won't, if you don't have preseason games, but even if you only have 2, you have limited opportunities.
Yeah.
So you're going to go with what you know as a coach. So that puts those guys behind the eight ball a little bit. Steven, is that all you got?
I have a challenge for Austin.
Okay.
And I'm doing this for the 690 Syndicate next year for Shock Your Mock. I'm making sure you can't say my mock draft sucks. I've already started my research.
He's already doing his due diligence right now. I love it, man.
I already got my first 2 picks.
I love the dedication. Okay. I like the dedication, man.
That's good. You got plenty of homework. You cannot be denied the amount of homework you've done for Shock Your Mock 2021. Appreciate it, Steven. Thanks for hanging with us here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Well, and a little maybe breaking news here. We'll see how the whole world of the NFL pans out. But I had an idea to do maybe like a dissect my draft where we do like your fantasy football draft, and I tear it apart as well. So maybe down the line, people start drafting their fantasy teams. I can get a. I don't like dissect your draft. It'll be like demolish my draft or dominate my draft, something like that. But maybe
Diss your draft.
Diss money, Brent. See, and that's why we're partners, right? That's why we're making the big bucks. Well, you are. It is what it is. But yes, diss my draft. I think we got something there.
But this year draft could also be like in Bryson DeChambeau territory of cool or not cool anymore.
Yeah, maybe it's kind of worn its welcome, I just feel like with the mock drafts out there for fantasy football, we can talk about something, man.
All right. How much could I want to talk a little bit more about this preseason. How different will it be? And especially here in Jacksonville, how much could it impact them? Plus a trash can story, and is it a trash can faux pas? I've got 2 trash can things. How did that happen? I've been talking to Jalen Ramsey or something, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
He's the one who said so-and-so's trash, isn't he?
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah, Josh Allen.
Oh, I thought you just called Jalen Ramsey trash.
I
I got you. Okay, a trash can.
Stop doing that.
Okay. Hey, I'm just trying to hype it up a little bit, get you guys, Sean Payton,
Get me blocked
Jalen
again.
Ramsey, whoever, man. We're calling people out.
I'm probably already blocked. I haven't even checked. When we come back, ESPN 690. Talk a little bit more about preseason as well, plus DeShaun Jackson in some hot water with some of his comments. Athletes have to be careful. DeShaun Jackson finding that out today. We'll be back, ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly to at times mostly cloudy today with showers and thunderstorms developing again. Highs in the upper 80s. A shower or storm early tonight, then mostly cloudy and down into the low to mid 70s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30. Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where you can save 20% off store-wide during the summer super sale, July 16th to the 19th. The 4th of July sale at Arlington Toyota has been extended, but don't wait. This is your final chance to celebrate 4th of July savings while they last. If you're looking for a low payment, look to Arlington Toyota, where they have over 100 quality pre-owned cars that you can buy at $0 down and $199 a month. Yeah, that's no money down and only $199 a month for over 100 pre-owned vehicles. Or how about choosing from 50 quality pre-owned trucks and SUVs that you can also buy at $0 down and just $269 a month. That's no money down and $269 a month for over 50 pre-owned trucks and SUVs. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. You even get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy for total peace of mind. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. So what are you waiting for? The July 4th sale at Arlington has been extended, but don't wait. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com today. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/4th of July for full details.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
We have bigger rolls of carpet, hardwood too, laminates, hot area rocks for you. At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Our prices are low, 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 low.
At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Don't delay, we'll put it in next day.
At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Y'all don't see us now, you hear?
At the Carpet Man, at the Carpet Man.
Visit one of our mega flooring stores or go to carpetman.biz or
call 838-6705. The Carpet Man.
Are you about to propose? Are you getting married soon? Are you celebrating an anniversary?
You won't want to miss Beards Diamond Summer Super Sale, July 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th.
All wedding bands, all eternity bands, engagement rings, all fashion jewelry, all stackables are an incredible 20% off.
And an unbelievable 20% off all GIA certified loose diamonds. Our prices won't be beat.
Only at Beards Diamonds, located at the St. John's Town Center.
Or at beardsdiamonds.com.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After the crash, call the police and document the scene by taking photos of all the vehicles involved. If you were injured, get medical attention as soon as possible. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Bring a little spice into your sex life. Adam and Eve Adult Store. It's the trusted name in adult entertainment. Secure private shopping experience at AdamEveOutlet.com. That's AdamEveOutlet.com.
First Coast No More Homeless Pets Veterinary Hospital provides premium veterinary care for less. 7 days a week, a full range of services with compassionate care. Pet owners shouldn't have to choose between paying bills or a healthy pet. Call 425-0005, 425-0005, or fcnmhp.org.
Oh, it's hot in Jacksonville. Summer is here. Hotter weather means your family should be drinking more water. Stay hydrated, but make sure you do it in a healthy way. Take care of your family by having clean, purified water. That's what we have in our house. With a Kinetico system from CGC Water, you can remove up to 99% of contaminants. And right now, you can get an incredible offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. Call CGC at 904-552-1242. CGC will test your tap water so you can better understand what's in your water. That's important. It's free. free, and there is no obligation to buy anything. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. And while you're on the website, CGC wants your help to recognize frontline workers. They've been doing a great job. Nominate a worker, and they might get a free RO system. cgcwater.com, serving Northeast Florida and Southeastern Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
If you don't have Safe Touch monitoring, there's a good chance your system is getting monitored from someone's home. Yes, work from home has come to the security industry, but not at Safe Touch Security. At Safe Touch, that is totally unacceptable and doesn't meet UL requirements. At Safe Touch Security, our monitoring center is committed to maintaining our high standards. The only guaranteed response in the alarm industry with an incredible 8-second average. And our two-way communicator provides the very fastest response from the emergency authorities for burglary, medical, and fire. And the Safe Touch crash and smash technology detects crime before it enters the property. Our halo of protection and Safe Touch cameras report crime before it happens many times. And every Safe Touch security system is custom designed for you and comes with our exclusive Safe Touch parts and labor agreement at no charge. Safe Touch security systems have a guaranteed response and are installed by real professionals. Know you and your family are safe and protected the right way. Go to safetouch.com right now for more information. Safe Touch, doing what others can't for over 35 years. State license number EF0000233.
One-to-One Financial is Jacksonville's hometown credit union, and we've been helping people improve their lives and start businesses in this community for more than 85 years, longer than any other local institution. Like our name says, we work one-to-one with everyone, no matter their background, and we offer the best rates on loans and savings accounts, free debt counseling, plus no-cost financial planning. Learn more and join us at one-to-one-fcu.org, federally insured by NCUA.
At Action News Jax, we tell a weather story that's really built just for you. Most of us have lives that take us out in the elements, for work, for play, or just getting from point A to point B. And that means you need to be ready to get through your day.
I'm Action News Jax First Alert Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Our team of meteorologists didn't go to school just to read you temperatures. We do this so that the people that trust us know exactly what to expect today, tomorrow, and the next day.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team. We're here for severe.
In these unprecedented times, nurses on the front lines continue to deliver treatment and care under some extreme medical and environmental conditions. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. If you are a nurse or other licensed healthcare professional and currently face an investigation or complaint that threatens your professional license, let us help you protect your rights. Call us at 904-600-4000 for a consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Say hello to your new secret advertising weapon, your own branded mobile phone number. StarStar Mobile provisions vanity mobile numbers prefixed by StarStar, providing audiences an easy way to reach your business. Give it a try now by dialing StarStar Mobile from your mobile phone. That's StarStar Mobile.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to...
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jax.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar & Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
It's an exciting time. I'm just glad that I get to continue building this legacy in Kansas City. Obviously, with everything going on in the world with COVID and all this different stuff, to have this security to go into the community and be able to give back. I can't wait to not only build this legacy on the field, but off of it. And I'm excited for the future ahead for not only me, but the Kansas City Chiefs and the communities that have brought me up so far.
Cool. Is that new Patrick Mahomes? So he's talked already, obviously?
Yeah, said it was from today.
There we go. The last one we played, I thought, was pre-contract.
I believe it was, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're confusing me with all this Patrick Mahomes.
We're just bouncing around, man.
Here's the thing. So obviously I've told the story before. When Andy Reid breaks down a team meeting the night before a game, he says, let's go have a cheeseburger, my treat. Do you think he's going to go say, let's go have a cheeseburger Pat's treat now? You think he's going to do that? Because Lord knows I would. It's a lot of money for a lot of cheeseburgers. That's all I'm going to say. And I love how he calls him Pat, too. Like I was watching an interview yesterday with Andy Reid, kind of talk about the situation. Pat. Love it.
You know, that's a great call right there. Like Patrick Mahomes, what happens when you make that kind of money, right? And I've heard this before in stories about like Tom Brady. I've shared this before, where it's like Tom Brady has he wants to come down to the level of his teammate, yet he's put on a pedestal that makes it very difficult. Sure. Like people walk in that locker room like, oh my gosh, that's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I want to catch a pass from Tom Brady.
Yeah.
What do the players say against him? I want to sack Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I want to tell my grandkids I sack. So you can see how it's born.
Felt the same way when Josh Scobie bought his Aston Martin. Felt the exact same way.
But the thing about Mahomes now is it puts him on a level. He's already kind of like that. He's got that aura a little bit, right? He's MVP. He's Super Bowl champ, young kid, no-look passes. He's the coolest thing going. Yeah. Face of the NFL. Now he's 10 years, $500 million Patrick Mahomes. I think the great thing for Mahomes would be to do, if I was Mahomes, I was advising Mahomes, I would, that first day of camp, I would order cheeseburgers from everywhere for that first team meeting. Just the simplicity of a cheeseburger.
You're not lying, man.
And play off if it's Andy, maybe it's ice cream now, whatever it is. But whatever the Andy Reid thing is, which would be a great idea, right? Bring him down that level.
It's genius. I mean, honestly, cheeseburgers, great. I'm thinking like popsicle, snow cones, like something. Because, dude, nothing beats a nice popsicle or a snow cone after a hard practice. But you're absolutely right, man. Like, listen, he doesn't have to go buy like all his offensive linemen Rolex watches. He doesn't have to go buy everybody like all these luxurious things in that locker room, man. Because to be fair, like, yeah, they're nice gestures, but his teammates don't care. Like, I think the biggest thing that Patrick Mahomes can do, and I'm agreeing with you here, is that he can bring himself back down and, hey, I'm still the same guy. Yeah, sure, I have a couple more zeros in my bank account now, but I'm still the same Patrick Mahomes. Let's go get an ice cream cone or a snow cone or something like that.
If you were a financial advisor, would you be kind of nervous being Patrick Mahomes' financial advisor? Obviously, you just hit the lottery too.
Correct.
To some degree. But it's like, what do you tell him to do with $500? And by the way, it's not like he just got handed $500 million.
Yeah.
He's going to get handed probably like $63 million and then whatever else. But how do you manage that? that's what you went to school for. That's what you get paid for. That's what you do. But you also don't want to screw that up.
No, for sure.
And
but
I guess the good thing is if you screw up $100 million, you still got $400 million.
Hard to screw it up. Really, 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 really hard to screw it up. Like, if you screw that up, you're going to jail forever because, obviously, you're not good at your job.
I wonder what they tell people to do with that. Like, I've always thought about this with Shad Khan.
Yeah.
Like, who manages Shad Khan's money?
Sure.
And says, like, how do you talk in a lingo that has that many zeros? And say, this is the smart thing to do with, this $1 billion. Like, how do you do that?
I think the conversations go like this. Hey, you know what? Congratulations. You made a lot of money, and I'm proud of you. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this chunk of money here, and let's go ahead and just put it away. Let's not worry about it. Let's plan for the future. Let's make sure your family is set. Let's make sure your grandkids are set, and let's invest that money, and let's watch it grow. This is the conversation I've had before, in case you can't tell, with my financial advisor.
Let's not go rent a limo.
Yeah, let's not go rent a limo. But you know what? Hey, but you know what? Hey, but you know what, Patrick? Here's how it goes, though, Brent. But you know what? You've worked hard for that money. You've gone against all odds, made it to the NFL, and now you've got your contract. You're one of the best NFL players in the world right now, and you've earned that money. So let's go ahead and take another chunk of that money, and let's put it aside for right now, and you go treat yourself, and you go enjoy it, because you know what? Hey, you know what? You hired me, but you know what? You earned it. You earned it. Go treat yourself, because you know why? You earned it.
That's what they say to you?
That's how those conversations go, my friend.
Really?
Oh, you better believe it. Yeah, you earned it.
Like, so what do you do? Like, what do you take out of us all those millions to go have fun with?
I don't know, man. Go earn. You earned it. Go do whatever you want to do.
It's amazing. Like, I think it's hard to spend that. I know everybody laughing at me right now, be like, "Oh, well, I will try to spend it." I get it. I think it's hard to spend that money.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do with that kind of. And by the way, like my father-in-law always said this. He's like, if I was advising like Patrick Mahomes, this is what he would say. He said, I would take, let's just say, $10 million a year and go put it in, and he's from Ohio. So he's like, I'll put it in the Ohio State bonds.
Okay, yeah.
Which grow at like 5%.
There you go.
Well, you do the math.
Yeah.
Like it's guaranteed to grow at 5%.
Yep.
There's your $10 million a year.
Yep.
So you can go mess up anything else, but you're not going to mess up that.
Absolutely.
Right? And think
Absolutely.
about how much money that would equate to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, the amount of money that is. That is a lot of money if you do it the right way. And by the way, with any investment, I think you get a little bit lucky here or there. He'll try some things and maybe fail at it or whatever. But I also think you got to be really careful of this if you're Patrick Mahomes. Get spread out too much. Right?
Of course.
To say, hey, I want to take this money. This is what the danger of the new athlete is, or the modern day athlete is. It's cool because they're well-rounded. They want to produce movies. They want to do things like invest in other things. They want to spark change, promote change, make their own, like, whether it's YouTube channels or whatever it is.
Sure.
But you don't want to be distracted from your primary thing that got you there, and that is
of course
playing football or playing basketball or whatever else.
And see, and this is kind of the thoughts that I have going back and forward right now. Because with Patrick Mahomes, he's still young. He's extremely young, just won his first Super Bowl, 24 years old. Just comes off his first Super Bowl win. He's won the MVP already as well. And you get the sense that this guy right now, Brent, he's all about football. He's all about winning and trying to put himself in the legacy of one of the best quarterbacks of all time. And how you do that, you win Super Bowls. So he seems completely focused right now on Super Bowls. I don't see Patrick Mahomes first day of training camp pulling up in a Bugatti, and just decked out in like, some new like Louis Vuitton garb. I don't see that. I see him coming, just like the way he always does, probably rocking a Chiefs cutoff shirt and some sweatpants and saying, let's get back to work. When I think about Tom Brady, and this is why I want to bring this up, because you obviously, you were close, but you followed the Patriots, obviously, so you kind of know what you're talking about here. But like, when did and I don't even know if Tom Brady really changed that much, but like obviously when Tom Brady came in, he was the chip on his shoulder guy, right? It was about proving all the doubters wrong. You guys took me late in the draft. I'm going to show you why that was a mistake. And now it's my job in the New England Patriots to be the starting quarterback, and I'm going to go out there and ball out every single Sunday. Well, and then eventually it gets to the point where it's like, all right, well, now I'm married to a supermodel. I have to do these other things, and now I have like my book, and I have, my diet and all that stuff. So like, I guess what year, like when does that transition happen, right? Because like eventually Patrick Mahomes is going to get to the point where it's like, all right, it's time to branch out and do more things. Yeah. But when does it happen?
Yeah, I don't know. When you're ready for it, I guess. And you're going to get asked for it for forever. Mm-hmm. But when you're ready for it, I don't know if that was after Super Bowl III for Tom Brady, Super Bowl V for Tom Brady. But I do think at some point, like you go from kind of like this almost naive nature of it. Yeah. My guess is Patrick Mahomes, he seems pretty level-headed.
For sure.
And I know this sounds a little crazy because we all we try to paint everybody with the same brush. But my guess is Patrick Mahomes pretty in an innocent, naive kind of way. It's like, man, I'm playing football and I'm getting paid for it, and I love the game.
Yeah.
And I don't care how many dollars are in my bank account. His agent and everybody else does, but yeah, whatever. I'm getting paid. I got plenty of money. It's fine. But at some point, you do flip the switch, is my guess, to say, this is my business. I'm playing football for fun, but this is my business. And then over here this is my legacy on the field. Mm-hmm. And this is my legacy off the field. And how much can I do with this? What more can I do? And I just think those are the things you have to compartmentalize. I think this would be very difficult. I think you have to compartmentalize and say, okay, but I need 90% of my focus over here still in this bucket. Like, I think that's the thing with LeBron James. This is the one thing I criticize LeBron James. I love LeBron James. But I criticize him about the fact of, I got to go move to L.A. to create movies. No, you don't. Mm-hmm. You can do that from anywhere. You own jets. You can get on jets. You don't have to live in L.A. and play for the Lakers to expand your movie career, in my opinion. And also, by the way, your movie career can wait like 3 more years if it needed to. It doesn't have to happen now. See, I criticize him a little bit for that move if that's why he chose to go to L.A., because I just don't think you need to do that right now. But I believe in his mind, some of that basketball bucket or, helping the hometown bucket that he's already filled up has now spilled over to say, okay, but let's try to put some in this bucket. Let's diversify, in a different kind of way than stocks, but in my own personal life.
See, it's so interesting, though, because I'm reminded, and for the life of me, I can't remember what speaker said this to the team, but when I was in Jacksonville, whatever year it was, I remember a speaker, he had like a dry erase board, and this was during training camp, and he got on the board and he drew a funnel. And he said that when you're in high school, and he pointed at the top of the funnel, this is your life right now, right? You got your friends, you got the newspapers talking about you, you got this bubble that you surrounded yourself with that's cultivating you to be a good man, to get hopefully a college scholarship and go on with your life. Well, then he drew it where, like, in the middle of the funnel, well, that was like your college years. Now, all of a sudden, you go away from that home bubble. You're in a new environment. You have new friends, and maybe it's getting a little smaller. And then he said, here's the league right here. And it was like the small little tip of the funnel. And he said, this is how you should approach it right here. Because if you don't, and you keep that big funnel up with you until the pros, it's never going to work out. Because to play the game of, football at the most highest level or whatever job you want to have, you have to be laser focused, man. And I think we've seen that a little bit. Like, obviously Leonard Fournette, kind of cutting some of those people out of his life.
Shrinking the funnel.
Exactly. You're shrinking the funnel. But here's the thing, though, Brent. When you have these high-priced quarterbacks like the Tom Brady back in the day or now Patrick Mahomes, I mean, your funnel can only get bigger, right? And you play the most important position, the position that demands the most of you to win a Super Bowl more than likely. And now all of a sudden we're saying, well, you know what? Go ahead and make that funnel bigger. Go ahead and do these things over here. Go do these things over here. So it's an interesting conversation because one would think, well, if you're Patrick Mahomes and you want to win, you better stay laser focused. But that's not going to happen.
But yeah, I think it's a very difficult thing to do. I love what you're saying there too. I mean, that funnel starts big, gets small, and then starts growing back up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what LeBron James is doing a little bit. But can you handle it? LeBron looks like he can handle it, by the way.
Sure.
Also taking on a bunch of social issues and all these other things. And he looks like he can. I'm just saying I would keep the funnel smaller, but I'm also a big believer in the less friends, the better you are.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
I mean, but that's kind of the funnel philosophy in a way.
It is.
It's like if you have too many friends, I'm not saying you can't be nice to people and have acquaintances. My point is if you have too many friends, like we were just talking about it, right? We were talking about weddings and best man speeches. I was like, I've never had to give one because I don't have enough friends, which is great.
All of a sudden, Ty's going to want a birthday party with like 10 people. No, it's going to be 5 kids at the very most. Bring them over here. Not having 10 kids in my house.
I mean, I've never really thought about it from the funnel philosophy, but I guess I kind of believe in it in a way. Like, it's just like you can only do so. You can only go to so many people's weddings.
Correct.
Except for Coos. You can only remember so many people's birthdays. My point being is, I'm not sure how good of a friend you can be to this many people.
You can be a great friend to a select few. But it's hard to be a great friend to everybody.
Yeah. So and that's kind of that point. And I think these guys get stretched out, though, with their dollars, with their wallets, and by the way, with their focus and attention.
Yeah.
And so can it take away from you being a great player? I think it takes something to be able to handle that and know when to shrink that bubble and or that funnel. And I guess most people would probably say, if we're sitting down on the couch here and being sports psychologists, I think most people would probably say that old-fashioned statement, if you want to be the best, surround yourself with the best. Sure. That's when people say no. That's what we say about Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, he didn't have those people.
No.
He had all these yes people. And then look where it went. Look where it is. Look what it resulted in. His funnel got so big, and he was listening to the wrong people probably, or they weren't loud enough or didn't have his attention enough that they couldn't slow it down.
And I'll tell you what, Ian, you mentioned him before, but Braun, man. LeBron James should be celebrated for what he's been able to do, right? Because through the social media era, everything he's been able to accomplish, and yes, that funnel has got huge, but you know what? He's always been able to handle it. Because sometimes when your funnel gets a little too big, you start to self-destruct a little bit, right? And you have a bad demeanor about you, a bad behavior, and you get in trouble. LeBron James, as far as we know, has never been in trouble, has never self-destructed.
Organic TED Talk right there. Didn't even know it was about to happen. All right, I got to get to this because I asked for it. Are you allowed in your neighborhood to put trash in somebody else's trash can?
I would say probably not, man.
I did it yesterday.
Put in your own trash can.
No, I just had a little piece of paper trash, and I was walking the neighborhood, and I was like, I don't want to put it in my pocket. I'm going to put it in their trash can.
Yeah, but it's not your trash can. It's not your mailbox. What are you doing, man?
I honestly felt like I was doing something illegal, and people might watch and come out.
Well, and now you just snitched on yourself, too.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the right thing to do or not. I put it out there, and here's the response. If there's no lid, I do, especially dog poop.
Oh, wow.
That wasn't it. It was just a wrapper.
Yeah. But they're saying Thunderdome, there's got to be rules in society.
Our Jack says, yep, that's why they are there. That's what I thought, too. It's trash.
I'll tell you what, man. Society.
Keep America clean.
Nicely. That's going to be a T-shirt.
We'll be back on ESPN 690.
You hear all the time about Diamonds Direct's prices and selection and warranties. All true, and all good reasons to give us a visit. But what really sets Diamonds Direct apart is something that's hard to put into words. But you will feel it. You'll know it from the minute you walk in. It's our unique culture, our passion, our genuine and absolute desire to totally revolutionize the way you experience jewelry shopping, with a laser focus on celebrating your special moments. Every associate, every receptionist, every jewelry craftsman, every single person at Diamonds Direct shares this DNA, this overwhelming desire to exceed your expectations, to honor your trust, to revel in your moment, to make your experience truly magical. This is not a mission statement written on our wall. This is the essence of who we are. It's what drives us every day. It's why we do what we do. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. For real.
Wondering what CBD is and if it's right for you? Come in and talk with the professionals at iHeart CBD, located at 11645 Beach Boulevard, Suite 103. iHeart CBD is Jacksonville's premier CBD state. Hemp-derived, certified organic, and tested in-house and through a third party. Products include pain creams and hemp flower. No medical card required. Join the many Jacksonville residents who are finding major relief with iHeart CBD. 11645 Beach Boulevard, Suite 103. Or call 904-619-9274.
For streaming, creating, gaming, and more, power your passions for less during Dell's exceptional Cyber Savings event. Enjoy up to $400 off stunning laptops like the XPS, along with high-performance desktops and next-level Alienware systems, redefining what's possible with 10th-gen Intel Core processors. Shop special prices on top-brand electronics and accessories, plus enjoy free shipping on everything. Don't forget to ask for Intel when you call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
It's time for some straight talk. Even though most live sports are on hold now, big wireless companies haven't stopped playing games. They're always trying to lock you into overpriced contracts. With Straight Talk Wireless, there are no contracts. It runs on America's best networks, same as the big carriers, for up to 50% less. $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. You might miss sports, but don't play games, you'll lose. Straight Talk Wireless. No contracts, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pets' changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
Sometimes in life you get a second chance. That's what's happening right now at Arlington Toyota. Their 4th of July sale has been extended. That means you even have more time to save big on every new Toyota Arlington's got. But don't wait. The 4th of July savings won't last long. You can still get 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. That's 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. If you thought you missed Arlington's July 4th savings, think again, because you can still get no payments until 2021 on your new Toyota purchase. Yeah, no payments until next year on your new Toyota. And with every new vehicle purchased from Arlington, you'll get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind, thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Arlington's 4th of July sale has been extended, but don't wait. Shop in person today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/new July 4th for full details.
Nobody wants tax problems, and lives have certainly changed in the last couple of months. So let me tell you about J. David Tax Law. They are here to help you and your business with tax debt issues during the pandemic. Tax problems can be stressful, especially right now. If you owe a tax debt, there are new programs available that can help reduce or eliminate your IRS or sales tax burden. But here's the deal. The programs expire on July 15th, so don't wait. That's coming soon. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. With stimulus packages being distributed, the IRS will be collecting an unprecedented amount of tax debt to fund this historic initiative. J. David Tax Law only has experienced tax attorneys that will represent you. You want to be able to walk in and talk to someone and look them right in the eye when it comes to your taxes. J. David Tax Law is someone you can trust. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Did you know that you have the power to positively impact a local child's life? It's as easy as donating to Daniel, Florida's oldest child service agency. Daniel provides counseling to abused children. Daniel helps homeless teens find shelter and learn to live independently. Daniel connects kids with foster families and strengthens at-risk families so they can stay together. They've done all this and more for 135 years. Please become a part of improving the lives of local children and families by donating at danielkids.org today.
Bring a little spice into your sex life. Adam and Eve Adult Store. It's the trusted name in adult entertainment. Secure private shopping experience at AdamEveOutlet.com. That's AdamEveOutlet.com.
Hey, it's Trey Wingo from Golic and Wingo, and you're listening to ESPN 690.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes spoke about his new contract for the first time since agreeing to that 10-year deal, which could be worth up to $503 million. Mahomes said the deal gives him the security he wants and allows the team to continue to be great around him. The Chiefs do believe Mahomes will earn every penny of the contract, explains ESPN's Lou Riddick.
That's why they wanted the length of it to be what it is, so they can continue right now to take advantage of this window that they're in, still keep the people that they want to keep around him, and have him go on one of those unprecedented type of successful runs that we look back and go, that was a dynastic type of run right there.
Louis Riddick on Golic and Wingo. Eagles receiver Deshaun Jackson today spoke with GM Howie Roseman about the Instagram post, which featured an anti-Semitic message. The team called the post offensive, harmful, and absolutely appalling. No discussion of a suspension or termination raised with Jackson to this point. Jackson's apologized for any hurt he's caused. A rotator cuff injury will keep Wizards guard Bradley Beal out of the NBA's restart.
It ain't game day, but you can still feast like it is. Meet Church's new $5 Campfire Smokehouse Chicken, our fan favorite with a new campfire flavor, plus mashed potatoes and a biscuit. Church's, bringing that down-home flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
That's a bold move. I mean, we've gone above and beyond and found something that is phenomenal for Pat and his family, and also for the Kansas City Chiefs. Pat was so aware of the surroundings, like he is on everything, making sure that not only was his deal done, but also almost to a T, was that he wanted the organization to have an opportunity to be able to bring in players, and that's in this day and age, that unselfishness is a tough thing to find at times. So my hat goes off to him and his maturity in this whole thing.
That's Andy Reid, but I'm laughing. It's like, heck, sign me up for the unselfish nature if you're about to give me $500 million.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
yeah. I'm unselfish as they come. I'm unselfish as they come.
Sign up and be the most unselfish player and teammate ever for 10 years and $500 million.
Hey, I hate to be that guy right now, but it's on my mind, and I'm going to say it. Okay, so family man, Patrick Mahomes, right? Andy Reid said it.
He's got a girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. He's had a long-time girlfriend. If you're the girlfriend right now, are you kind of hinting, like dropping some of those Pinterest things on Facebook saying, hey, let's go ahead and lock up this ring real quick because Russell Wilson, hey.
If I'm girlfriend's dad, I'm dropping Pinterest.
Hate to see the whole Russ Wilson situation again, right? Russ Wilson had his longtime boo, all of a sudden, what's up, Sierra? And now Russell Wilson's rocking these leather jackets with the perm and everything. Completely changed his whole demeanor.
What was that?
I mean, what was that? Hey, you know what? He's the highest paid. Well, he was the highest paid quarterback. Props to him. I got nothing but love for Russell Wilson. But you got to throw those hints out there right now, right, Brent?
I think you would have to.
If you're Brittany
like
Matthews
I said,
right now.
I'm her parents, I am.
Yeah. I'm just coming from my situation. It feels like the roles were reversed, and I'm like, I'm the boyfriend, and my wife just made $500 million. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. My girlfriend did. I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
Gonna need you to come on.
The next
Can
minute.
I borrow like 10,000?
Yeah. Well,
let's make this a really special day. Will you marry me?
Exactly. Let's put the cherry on top. Right? One for the record books.
And by the way, there might be a prenup involved anyway once that thing happens.
To each their own, Brent. To each their own.
I always thought that was interesting. Like, how does that topic get broached?
How does that conversation come into?
Yeah, the prenup conversational.
Yeah, it's a rough one, right?
I mean, fortunately, I was making about $12,000 in Alexandria, Louisiana. That conversation wasn't necessary.
Do you want to see how it works on air? We can call Nicole right now, and I'll.
Well,
it'll be an experiment.
I mean, you want to talk about sports radio history? A live prenup talk?
That is good.
Oh, man.
If we can't sponsor that, then we're never going to make it.
There's got to be some firm out there that specializes in divorces. Coos, that's the money segment right there. Don't even tell her you're going to call her. Just say, hey.
Just
Coos,
out
you've
of
been
the
looking
blue.
for an endorsement. There you go. Just convince Nicole of that.
There we go.
Hey, by the way, how about this? Alabama offense coordinator Steve Sarkisian recovering from a heart procedure, heart surgery last week, expected to make a full recovery. The first thing I think about that is coaches in general.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we were guilty of this, right? We peg people as, well, boy, gosh. I mean, they're destined to have medical issues or whatever, based on their lifestyle. And you'd think coaches. But the amazing thing about coaches for me, and by the way, there are plenty of them that have had issues, medical conditions, or maybe even heart conditions and others. But my view of coaches are totally different than that. My view of coaches are a lot of older coaches that coach for a long, long time.
Yep.
And if they do pass, it's almost after they've got out of coaching, or have issues. The other view of it is, I think coaches seem to be like in the best shape they've ever been in. You think about all this time, and Doug Marrone said this a few weeks back at the protest, because I had said, hey, you're going to build time into your day now outside of the X's and O's. You guys are so football. We got to get better. We got to figure out this team. We got to go win this game. But for these kind of discussions, and he brought up a good point. He's like, listen, we already make time in the day to go get exercise, to be with the family, to go grab a bite to eat here or there. We've just got to refocus some of that time maybe on the Black Lives Matters conversations.
Correct.
But it goes back to the point where I think if my visualization of coaches, a lot of them are in very good shape. They seem to get their workouts in each and every day, whether it's 5 in the morning or 8 at night. Tom Coughlin, notably, was always on the treadmill at first thing, I think, in the
coaches
building.
get after it now,
right?
In terms of discipline and, guys, whether they're running on their treadmill, whether it's Joe Cullen running outside every single day before practice, coaches get it in for sure. But at the same time, listen, there's a couple reasons why I never wanted or I never aspired to be, an NFL coach or even a collegiate coach, because I know just what that grind is. I've seen the behind the scenes. And, in terms, especially in college, if you're on the road and everything, you're recruiting. I mean, sure, everyone wants to go to Fresh Market and get a nice hot meal, and get the perfect amount of carbs and fats and everything. That's not how it works, man. When it's 11 o'clock at night, you're going house to house. You stop at McDonald's, stop at Burger King, get something fast and convenient. And even when you're in the stadium and everything like that, your eating habits kind of get thrown off a little bit, and especially your sleep patterns. I mean, you want to talk about getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, stay until, the sun goes down. There's a lot of time, there's a lot of dedication that's that's obviously part of the game, but also just the stress, the stressful environment. I mean, regardless of how calm, cool, and collected you are, I mean, you could be the most Phil Jackson, Zen master type S coach there is out there. But when you talk about the game of football, the physicality, the masculinity, trying to get all these guys on the same page, it's a different breed, man. It's definitely a stressful environment.
Yeah, and I can't imagine it's one of the most healthy jobs
and that's
overall.
not healthy either. Yeah.
And by the way, it's a stressful from the outside, but most folks that are in that profession really bring on the stress from the inside. They put a ton of pressure on themselves. I mean, I know it's a little bit cliche. I put the pressure on myself. I get it. But they are competitive people. They want to succeed. Some are in survive and advance mode, and let me just make $2.5 million for as long as I can make $2.5 million.
But some of them, they have to succeed, or else they're going to get fired. Usually.
Well, not only that, but still. See, my point to that, and I think a lot of people would say, hey, man, okay, you got a 3-year contract. Say you're a coach. Make 3-year contract. Say you're making $2.5 million, right? So you get $7.5 million. Over 3 years. And that's not even counting whatever else you made in your life and all this other stuff, which probably got paid pretty decent. Well, you get fired, say 2 years in. And all of us say, well, go sit on a beach then for 2.5 years and for a year and enjoy the $2.5 million. You're still going to get paid.
Yeah.
My point is they're not wired that way. A lot of them are wired to be like, I failed. I don't care what my bank account says. I failed. That's my last memory here as a coach or whatever. I got to go fix that, right? And so I think that's where a lot of the stress and the pressure comes through. Speaking of stressful positions, I got to share the trash can story.
Yeah. Here we go, man. Two days setting this up. I can't wait.
It's not that good.
Let me go and sit back and take this in.
So stressful position is an umpire.
Okay.
Right? Got to be.
Yeah.
Would you like to be an ref?
No. Are you kidding me? Having to deal with parents in the back, and then the kids are little brats and getting in my face. There's no way. I'll lose my mind. No way.
It's a serious conversation about a lot of sports, especially at the high school level. I think soccer's one of them. I think even football, and I believe the baseball and stuff, because I did a story on umpires early in the pandemic, and I think they mentioned this too. There is a shortage of umpires. There's a shortage of referees, officials for sports. I'm not just talking baseball, softball, but all sports. And I think if you would categorize officials, umpires, most of them would be on the older side.
Sure.
They're not 24 is my point.
Yeah.
Older than, say, 40.
And
a lot of them maybe even in their 60s.
Correct. If I was going to categorize which one would be the worst for me, it's umpires, man, baseball. Because think about it. You're behind the plate the entire time. There's nowhere to run. If you mess up a call, you're taking the heat from the fans, heat from the coaches, heat from the players. You can't run anywhere.
And you're in that 3-foot circle.
At least in football, it's all right, you screw up, Coach Elsie. All right, well, here goes the play again. I got to run down the field now.
Yeah.
See ya. Yeah, nah.
In basketball, you give them a tech.
Exactly.
Right?
See, yeah, exactly.
You can't do that in baseball.
Baseball, it's just you're taking it.
So we're in Hoover, Alabama. Ty's playing with the 5-star team.
Home of the Hoover, what was the?
The MTV show.
Yeah, I forgot the team names. Thank you. Yeah.
By the way, real quick side note on that. I'm really getting off track, but beautiful, unbelievable. Campus.
Yeah.
Huge. The sport, it's not just football. Actually, the sports fields, they have a varsity and JV baseball field, varsity JV softball field, varsity JV soccer field. Have you ever heard of that?
I've never heard of varsity JV having different fields, to tell you the truth.
And to be honest with you, I was underwhelmed by the football stadium. Now, the field is they got turf and new turf, but the stadium, since the MTV show, is now, 15 years old or something, at least. That's probably even 20 years old.
I feel old now. Thank you, Brent.
But they've won 11 state championships in football in this century.
Yeah.
I think I took a picture of that, put it on Twitter. But anyway, so that's where we were.
Cool.
And they've got a beautiful complex. Different story for different days. Why can't Jacksonville get one of these complexes to host all these tournaments?
Right.
Huge moneymaker.
Yep.
Should make that happen, Jacksonville. But anyway, they've done this, and Hoover's become a hot spot. Fort Myers for the travel ball scene is a big spot. Atlanta, huge scene up in East Cobb. And now Hoover, Alabama is one of those scenes. And nice turf fields complex. So we're playing, and this would have been in, we got by pool play, would have been the quarterfinals. Okay. All right, we're into the final 8 bracket. Played a team from Virginia, and got to be completely honest, most of the umpires are good. This guy wasn't having a great day. This guy was having a tough start. First, second inning, it was oh boy. It was like high pitches, curveballs dropping in at the chest and still called strikes.
Yeah.
The strike zone was odd.
Yeah.
And admittedly, as I put on my tweet, if you followed it, we got I thought we got a call or two. I sit behind home plate and video.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought we got the benefit that led to some other things of a call or two. But at the same time, like, they got some calls too. It just didn't lead to much.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I feel like we got a little bit of break here or there. And then there was some complaining. There was complaining right from the rip from that side. And I'll give our coaches and parents credit. In this instance, this team, they were not saying anything.
Classy.
They just kind of said, next pitch, go on.
Yeah.
Maybe because we got a break or two. I don't know. But but these guys from Virginia, this coach was like an inning in. I mean, he was like not in a good place.
No, it's a good start.
All over this guy. Mm-hmm. And to the point, well, then what happens when you do that, like the fans, the parents start noticing too. Even if they're not paying attention.
Oh, they pile on you, man.
Pile on, right? And then even the players are starting to not say anything, but they're feeling them. They can
looks
hear
a little bit,
yeah. Looking back at the
there's
like,
blood in the water, man. There's blood in the water. And sharks are circling.
Not saying anything to their credit, but definitely looking back. And the thing I always say, if you follow local baseball in general, if you are sitting on the first and third base side, you cannot really tell if it's inside or outside. You can tell if it's high or low, but you can't tell if it's inside or outside. Yep. Well, I'm sitting right behind the plate, so I can. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't as bad inside and outside as they kind of thought he was. But now the high stuff was not good. It really wasn't. So anyway, the game keeps going. Very few times do you see this. He took his entire team out of the game. Not out off the field. I'm just saying mentally out of the game because all they were concerned about was the ump. Oof. They were consumed with the ump.
Yep.
You know, and like to the point where a pitch would be right down the middle, and the kid would look back and be like, "Why is that a strike?"
Looking for a reason.
I mean, come on, dude! It's right down the middle in every country. That's called a strike. So
rent-free headspace,
no doubt. So that's kind of the scene. Okay. You know, third inning, he gets a warning. The guy finally was like, "Enough." Gets a warning. Sixth inning, seventh inning, they start chirping a little bit. By this time, we're up like 7-0, by the way. I mean, how much can it be fault at 7-0?
Yeah, crushing it. Hey, guess what? So your team sucks, all right? Maybe coaching players a little better.
It didn't suck.
Yeah,
but we just got the better
I don't mean
side
to call a bunch of kids suck. Yeah, my bad.
We got the better side of them.
Yeah.
So anyway, the game ends, and they're not happy, but even a couple of the folks, hey, good game, all that stuff.
What was the score, by the way?
7-0.
Not going to make that difference. 7 runs, whatever.
Probably
okay.
not,
yeah.
Right? So all of a sudden, I'm packing up my stuff, and we're getting out of there for the night, and I see, like, a kid come out of the dugout with a trash can. And I'm like, oh, I know what he's doing here. He's going to go put the trash can on home plate because they're all mad. Well, so this is a kid now. We're talking 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
And you hear, I'm like, I start getting my camera back out. I'm like, I'm getting this. This isn't
Did you post this video or something?
I posted the picture.
Okay, I got you.
I didn't get the video back up and work. It takes a while to get the camera on.
Sure.
But anyway, so he takes like a few steps out, and you can hear the parents and some of the kids be like, dude, don't do that. Don't do, kind of like, nah, don't do it. Some are kind of chuckling, unfortunately.
Yeah,
some are actually getting their cameras out.
Yeah, getting those Snapchats ready.
But like, I'm kind of watching all this happen. And so, okay, it's over. Kid starts walking back. It's like, okay, we collected ourselves. We're better.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I turn my back. The head coach has the trash can, and he's like 3 steps from home plate. The kid basically said, hey, no, this isn't a good idea. Yeah. But the coach said, no, it's a great idea.
No, Johnny, we finish around here. I'll finish it for you.
Puts the trash can on home plate, gleefully, by the way, smile on his face, and walks back. And, like, he actually, like, was encouraging the video and pictures of it in a way, not, like, posing.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
How old was this coach, Brent?
I would say, I don't know, maybe mid to late 40s. Not even like a super young guy, really.
Yeah,
like maybe that's what you think.
Likes to know better, yeah.
It was unbelievable, man. I couldn't believe he did that. Now, this time, the fields are clear. The ump's like in a golf cart along the way, down the road. And everybody's competitive. See, what a lot of people can't believe at, a lot of people are like, I can't believe this is like youth baseball, blah, 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 blah. If you've ever been around it, and you're not around it yet.
Yeah.
Like when your kids are, the bottom line is it does get competitive at times. Like you can really feel it amp up. Like I even said to one of the folks there, I was like, you can feel the energy level on Wednesday afternoon when the bracket play begins.
Okay.
And then even on Thursday when it's like the semifinals,
Yeah.
it just amps up. Why? It's not as much for the trophy, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it's like people like to win.
For sure.
You know, it doesn't matter if you're playing tiddlywinks,
Yeah.
Monopoly, baseball, basketball.
Listen,
people like to win.
I understand, man. Those tournament brackets and everything. I mean, you're talking to the guy whose stepdad had to get thrown out of the hockey rink a couple times because it got a little too intense. And keep in mind, this is hockey. You're on the ice. It's a loud game, okay? But hey, when you serve beer at ice rinks, you're asking for trouble. All right, that's a great sport. That's a great sport of hockey for you, though.
So I kind of I understand there's a crowd out there like the self-righteous crowd, and they're probably right.
Yeah.
But if you're not in that arena all the time, like you understand a certain level of it, especially what depending the age group. Like I think a lot of it's overblown. Yeah. But I do think if we ask ourselves this, if we're being honest, like have we all had bad moments at the ball field to a degree? Yeah, probably. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Some have had a lot worse than others.
Sure.
And quite frankly, I have this big belief that the little league dad syndrome is really the moms are 10 times worse. That's my own personal belief. But
sounds like a documentary for Netflix.
But this was like, I hadn't seen this, man. We've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I played for a long time.
Yeah.
I had not seen that. And by the way, this is a pretty big tournament. This is a big tournament and like a lot of eyeballs out there. Oof. And the connections in baseball and the travel ball world are, I don't think this sat too well.
Not a good look.
With the folks in charge.
Yeah.
But it was a bad look, man. I never seen it. He walked the trash can out and put it on home plate. And I had some reaction. People thought it was funny, but it's really not funny. I mean, you know, it's a
when
story
you take it
to
from
tell.
a kid, I mean, how does it make you look, though?
It's
you
awful.
know?
Like, I would be really appalled. I would hope that some of the folks, guys from Virginia, and I would hope some of their parents and stuff would kind of, on the drive back, realize that something needs to be said and done or whatever. And some kind of reprimand. I'm not saying he should never coach again or whatever, but let's just hope that he learned. But you can't do that.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, that's straight out of like minor leagues, like a tantrum from the. Now, if you did the professional ranks, it would be totally different.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it would be right, but it would be different. But you can't do it in
It's straight out of like the
baseball.
Bad News Bears, man. It's straight out of like a movie. They taking the kid had the decency to think, you know what, not the best idea. Let's go. And you know what? And I probably could get on YouTube and Snapchat and get all these views. But you know what? I'm mature. I'm take the trash can back. And the coach says, no, I got you. Don't worry about it. Insane.
It's unbelievable.
Did you ever give it any kind of grief or anything like that when you played?
Oh God, yeah.
No, but I'm saying when you were a player, like did you have like
yeah.
Well,
I got ejected once.
And
I wasn't even playing. I was on the bench.
You can't just say that and then not tell the story real quick.
Quick story. It's still one of the best things I've ever seen from a kid pitching in college. We're up at Findlay University, northwestern Ohio. And it's a big game for some reason. I can't remember the actual like standing stuff, but it's obviously a big conference game, a big game at the time. And I'm not playing this game.
Okay.
So it must be my senior year because I played most every game my junior year. And so I'm kind of like into the game and like everybody else, but we're getting late in the game. It's a pretty tight game. And we have a freshman pitcher who had an unbelievable year.
Yeah.
And he loses control and is getting squeezed by the ump. I mean, no doubt. Like stuff that looks pretty good. It's like, my gosh, will you call something a strike?
For sure.
You know, walks the bases loaded.
Oof.
And I'm pretty sure it's like a tie game or we're up by 1 or something because this was like the end of it. And then goes 3-0 on the next batter. Right. Oof. And I mean, you can just like, oh my gosh, this guy's going to walk. He's never throwing a strike in this game again.
Yeah.
It was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. This kid is a freshman in a big spot. Came back, strike. Right. Gets him out. Andrew Niederst is his name.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to remember now, we're chirping. We're in college. We're not happy with the umpire.
Yeah.
I come firing out of that dugout. And I kind of like meet Andrew Niederst like right about the baseline. But that's not after I said something to the ump.
Oh, yeah,
and he was like, you're out of here. I got thrown out of a game I wasn't even playing.
Did you get in trouble for it or not? I mean, is that pretty common in
No, I don't think it's common. In fact, I probably had to sit the next game, but I was probably already sitting.
Okay, I got you. So you're all good then. Hey, man.
Because I do remember watching the next game, I think it was from the outside. Like, I couldn't be in the dugout.
Yeah.
It was kind of it was almost funny because I wasn't even playing.
Yeah.
But that's how intense the game was.
That's awesome.
And that's the only time. I had a couple of little, I mean, you always argue calls and stuff as a player.
I was never like that. And keep in mind, I only played up until like my sophomore year of high school. But all I remember is like I had like this patented move, like where if it was a bad call and I strike out, I kind of just walk back a little bit and I turn my head and just kind of glare at him, shake my head, and then keep walking. Like, I don't say anything. I just kind of look back a little bit and then keep going on my journey back to the dugout. That was it. And then I got to the dugout. I'm throwing bats and stuff like that, But I'm flexing too.
The umps, they deal with a lot, man.
Yeah.
And you just can't be. Then you do have the umps they hear everything, and you just can't. It's a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
I think it's tough not to hear everything, but you can't get involved in that. You're gone.
Yep.
The best controlled umps are the ones that just don't say much.
For sure.
And just kind of carry on. Everybody's going to make a bad call, too. But, I got one ejection under my belt,
That's
man.
awesome, man. Put that in your
kind of
resume
proud
for sure.
of it. Yeah.
Put that in your resume.
Actually, I got 2 I got a technical foul in the ABA, too.
That's right, because the camp. By the way, how did the team respond to that? Were they just kind of laugh, or they kind of? Was it a close game?
No, it wasn't a close
game. Good. All right,
but I don't think they were that happy at first. I think everybody was kind of like, "What the heck's going on?"
Yeah.
But I wore a GoPro. No, it wasn't. When I did it, I started that game. So I got that technical to I think start the game because I started with the GoPro.
Sure. 0-0, by the way.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was a UNF arena. I think it was right at the outset of the game.
Not setting the tempo very well.
So I don't think they were happy with it. That's why they weren't happy. I can't believe it called a technical foul.
Yeah.
You just said take the damn thing off. Why do you call it technical foul?
Come on, man. Help me out, please.
I'm thinking this is hey, I'm 13th man.
We're
I'm some
fun.
bad TV guy that I'm just going to come play ball.
Dude, tease you up? The ref couldn't just go, hey, man, by the way, if you wear that, technical foul. No, man, sets you up.
Technical foul.
Yeah. Like it's some kind of bit or something. And no, it's not a bit. No one's laughing at you on that team.
They didn't like that.
Craziness.
Well, I didn't think we'd go a whole segment on the trash can story, but we got there.
It was worth it, man.
Unbelievable. Never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it.
Leading our
and
nation's
by the way,
youth.
I still think we got a lot more to see over the next few years in high school
wait,
baseball and more ball to come.
You just keep those stories coming. I'm all for listening about those.
Youth sports, that could be a topic for a different day.
Yep. Shout out to all the hockey parents out there, too, man.
I always say I'm to the point now where I'm like, I'm not doing that show until Ty and Kaylee are done.
I like it. Yeah.
I can't because I'm going to say something I shouldn't say. But the youth show is coming. You know how the documentary on 2017, Saxonville is coming in 2035?
Of course.
Well, the youth show is coming in 2029.
You've seen it. You've seen it and you're ready to live through it. I can't wait, man.
If ESPN 690 is still alive.
Yeah, just put it on Netflix.
We'll have it.
Everything's out there. You know what? It could be a little joint thing. It could be my college softball cult thing along with your youth sports thing. Kind of a joint documentary.
Very good.
Now we're talking. Investors,
by that time, I might be agreeing with you.
We'll see how Kaylee pans out, yeah.
Hey, when we come back, DeShaun Jackson, should he be suspended? What else went into that? And why players have a responsibility during all of this conversation. That's next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A scattered shower or storm lingering into early this evening, then partly to mostly cloudy overnight, 70 to 75. Your Wednesday will be partly to mostly cloudy. Midday and afternoon, heavy showers and thunderstorms again with highs in the upper 80s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jack's Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where you can save 20% off store-wide during the summer super sale, July 16th to the 19th.
Boss, check out this headline in the Crooks R Us newsletter. Big Blue Alarm now allowing contact center employees to work from home.
Whoa, all of them?
Not quite. Says 88% of Big Blue employees are working from home.
Wonder if their customers know that the people monitoring their alarm are probably sitting at the kitchen table in their underwear.
Hey, maybe that's one of the reasons Big Blue doesn't have a guaranteed response.
That is an excellent point. Too bad Safe Touch Security isn't more like Big Blue Alarm.
Wishful thinking, boss. Listen to this. Safe Touch Security still leads the way with the fastest response time in the industry. Boss, how do they do it?
Doesn't matter. We still gotta stick to the Crooks R Us motto. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Do that and we'll be fine.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
There's no reason for senior citizens to face problems on their own. Elder Source's free helpline can connect you or your loved one with vital resources that offer increased independence and safety. Call 1-888-242-4464 today.
Oh, it's hot in Jacksonville. Summer is here. Hotter weather means your family should be drinking more water. Stay hydrated, but make sure you do it in a healthy way. Take care of your family by having clean, purified water. That's what we have in our house. With a Kinetico system from CGC Water, you can remove up to 99% of contaminants. And right now, you can get an incredible offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier softener. Call CGC at 904-552-1242. CGC will test your tap water so you can better understand what's in your water. That's important. It's free, and there is no obligation to buy anything. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. And while you're on the website, CGC wants your help to recognize frontline workers. They've been doing a great job. Nominate a worker, and they might get a free RO system. cgcwater.com, serving Northeast Florida and Southeastern Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Our team can help you understand your legal options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Where I'm from, marijuana is legal. Can I use it in Florida? Nah, it's illegal here, man. But I have PTSD. Should I at least try to get medical marijuana? That's legal. But if I were you, I'd talk to my doctor about qualifying conditions and to find out if medical marijuana is even right for you. Thanks. I'll talk to my doctor.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pet's changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
These days, more and more women are asking for fancy-shaped diamonds. Ovals, princess cuts, cushion cuts, ashers, marquise, heart-shaped, pear-shaped, emerald cuts. All very popular this year. And no one has more of these special shapes than Diamonds Direct. In fact, we've just increased our selection of these beautiful stones with sizes ranging from a ½ carat up to 10 carats. And while other jewelers will try to tell you these fancy shapes cost more, the fact is, as you'll learn at Diamonds Direct, fancy shaped diamonds should always cost up to 20% less than the same size round diamond. Plus, in many cases, a fancy shaped diamond will have a larger face and appear bigger than a round diamond with the same carat weight. So, with a fancy shaped diamond, you can get a bigger look for a lower price and have a diamond that stands out from the crowd. Come to Diamonds Direct and get the facts about fancy shaped diamonds, see the largest selection, and get the guaranteed best price. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
The 4th of July sale at Arlington Toyota has been extended, but don't wait. This is your final chance to celebrate 4th of July savings while they last. If you're looking for a low payment, look to Arlington Toyota, where they have over 100 quality pre-owned cars that you can buy at $0 down and $199 a month. Yeah, that's no money down and only $199 a month for over 100 pre-owned vehicles. Or how about choosing from 50 quality pre-owned trucks and SUVs that you can also buy at $0 down and just $269 a month. That's no money down and $269 a month for over 50 pre-owned trucks and SUVs. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. You even get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy for total peace of mind. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. So what are you waiting for? The July 4th sale at Arlington has been extended, but don't wait. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com today. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/4th of July for full details.
Okay, boss, here's the house. Been watching it all week.
And you're sure it only has a big blue alarm system?
Yep. That means we should have all the time we need.
Yeah, still can't believe Big Blue Alarm is allowing their employees to monitor alarm systems while they're working from home.
Yeah, let's see, how many times do I get distracted when I'm at my house?
Right? Let's just hope the Big Blue operator monitoring this house just started binge-watching a TV show.
Meanwhile, right across the street, Safe Touch is still as steady as can be with the fastest guaranteed response time anywhere.
And that is why we're standing on the outside of the house with the Big Blue Alarm.
Just following the Crooks of Us motto, stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah. All right, let's get busy.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
If you're usually listening to ESPN 690 in your car, but your boss has you working from home this week, well, take us with you. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax. Tell Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690, and enjoy all that sweet listening coverage.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I think he's the only one who you can make a similar case to Patrick Mahomes for. To me, even though I think Lamar Jackson is incredibly effective in controlling his body, in avoiding big hits, in getting out of bounds, really on tape, he's phenomenal. It's one of his best skills that nobody talks about. I just think when you have a running quarterback, he is going to take more hits inherently than a quarterback who doesn't run quite as frequently. So to me, I think given the resume, given, like you said, what they built around him, I think it makes sense to have that at least be on the table. But I think it's just tough to sit here and guarantee 10 years just about anybody. I think Patrick Mahomes might be the only exception to that rule.
That's Bill Barnwell talking about Patrick Mahomes. Who could be next? We talked about this a little bit yesterday.
We did.
There are a lot of good players, but it's hard to predict right now. 10 years, $500 million for anybody else right now in the NFL. And one of the big stories about Patrick Mahomes, we wonder, I think it's a fair curiosity, is how long has he set the bar for? You know, and not just, I don't really care transcending the other sports contracts. Baseball, who knows? Maybe you get this next guy coming up and it's a $600 million deal because it's baseball money instead of football money. But in the sport of football, especially at the quarterback position, how long has he set the bar at the QB now that there's a separation of almost $10 million between Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes? I think that's going to be the interesting one to watch. And, you know, we disagree a little bit on this from yesterday, but I think my belief is there is a cap. There's somewhere a cap of how high that thing can go. Mm-hmm. You know, and I believe there is. I mean, we'll find out if there is at some point, or Patrick Mahomes certainly setting that bar. Different kind of story in the NFL.
Yeah.
DeSean Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
As we welcome you back, final segment here, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Sorry it took so long to get to this. I had an umpire story to share instead.
And it was worth it.
But DeSean Jackson got himself in trouble with an Instagram post. And, boy, I feel like I have to explain a lot of these things lately, you know, that are going on.
Never stops.
And I can't assume that you saw it, but he apologized since, said he has no hatred toward the Jewish community, issued an apology after posting on social media Monday an anti-Semitic message that he attributed to Adolf Hitler and admiration for Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan. Mm-hmm. So the Eagles have since come out and really, well, they, in their own words, said they're appalled. They said offensive, harmful, and absolutely appalling.
Which it was.
And said the team would take appropriate action, in quotes. Team owner Jeffrey Lurie and general manager Howie Roseman are both Jewish.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. So let's walk this story back a little bit to begin with. Mm-hmm. This is when in my opinion, now you can tell me if I'm reading it wrong, okay?
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
But this is where ignorance can be a problem. And this isn't just a Deshaun Jackson thing. This is an all of us thing. Mm-hmm. And especially during these times, we're talking about pandemic, Black Lives Matter, where's Washington Redskins' name? Something we have to be very careful here on our show when we're talking about these very serious, important, deep issues in context. Mm-hmm. And admittedly, we have to be careful of this. And it's one of the reasons I think we often say we steer away from politics. Listen, I don't follow politics all the time. I'm not going to sit here and talk about politics. I don't follow it to that point. Yep. I don't consider myself an expert on the politics. Not say I'm an expert on everything sports, but I certainly follow it more closely, read up on it more, and try to be at least a little more intelligent on it than I would politics. And so we fall into this trap of, hey, you better know what you're saying or have a little bit of knowledge about stuff that you might not even know. You got to go back. I mean, how many times in the last few months have we gone and looked something up to say, hey, I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about? Or look something up from the civil rights movement of the 60s. I can't tell you how many times I've done that just to be more educated in the last couple of months as we continue to talk about these things. I think I go back to Chris Conley, the Jags wide receiver, who also said during that eloquent speech, but after when we talked to the media and talked to his teammates, and we kind of overheard this, said, hey, we need to educate ourselves more on these topics. Yeah. We can't assume that we know everything just because we're black. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate that, but I think we're all guilty that we can't all be experts on all these issues. We didn't live through all these issues. We all don't deal with some of these issues. And so I walk it back to the point of you have to be very careful what you say if you really don't know. And I think we all fall in that trap sometimes. Deshaun Jackson found himself in it. And I don't know if I'm letting him off the hook here. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying, to me, this smells of that. This smells of something that he really was ignorant on the issue, didn't really know exactly what he was tweeting, saying, Instagramming, and puts it out there. And do I believe that he actually means that, feels that way? Well, you bring those things to light when you act in an ignorant way.
Here's some of my issues with it. And when I saw the story this afternoon, I was definitely gutted and disappointed because we've been talking about this for a while now, Brent. This whole movement, this whole change, it feels different. People are putting their work on in the streets. They're protesting. Players are rallying around each other. The NFL is getting behind those players. This whole movement, it seems different. And whether you're black, you're white, you're Jewish, no matter what you are, we need everybody on the team because, yes, it is Black Lives Matter, but it's the battle between right and wrong. So you need everybody on the team. And when a guy like Deshaun Jackson comes out and tries to, quote-unquote, educate people and absolutely slams an entire, race of people, and I'm not going to repeat what he said because you can go look it up for yourself. But it's horrible, okay? It's not a very cool thing that Deshaun Jackson said. When you try to educate people, but you don't do your own homework, and you just throw out these horrible quotes out there like that, you're part of the problem. Right now, the other side, the side that, is against Black Lives Matter, the side that, and I'm not trying to get political, I'm just saying the other side, they're looking for reasons to point a finger and say, well, look what he said. Look what he said. They're trying to split everybody apart. And when Deshaun Jackson does this type of stuff, that's exactly, gives them the ammunition to do that. Okay? So that's why I'm so disappointed and I'm so upset. I'm also disappointed because, listen, I'm not sure how many Jewish NFL players there are in the NFL, and it really doesn't matter to my point here. My point is that when Drew Brees said his stuff, he got put on blast. Now, I'm not asking every Eagle player to go out on Twitter and say, well, he shouldn't have said that. He shouldn't have said that. All I'm saying is I hope and I pray that these conversations are taking place behind closed doors because I don't see them on Twitter right now. I don't see anybody calling out Deshaun Jackson for what he said. Plenty of players call out Drew Brees for what he said, okay? And at the end of the day, once again, it's not a black or white issue. It's a right or wrong issue. And right now, calling out a whole Jewish community and slandering them and spoiler alert, you don't have to be a history major to know that the Jewish people have gone through their own trials and tribulations. So when you call them out and when you bring them down and slam them, you should be held accountable. And I pray that his teammates in that locker room are holding DeSean Jackson accountable.
Yeah, I don't know if these situations should garner comparisons, but I think your point on Drew Brees is interesting.
Yeah.
That thing went, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, he's leading the headlines here. He's trending, but you're right about fellow players and teammates not as strong, at least publicly, as people were to quickly cancel Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Now, he could follow Drew Brees in this sense, where, yeah, you can say your apology, you can admit mistake, you can have a statement, which he might on a Zoom call with his team or whatever else, with Roseman, with Lurie. But then you have to act. And Drew Brees, if you look at what's transpired in the last few weeks, he's also made several actions, and admitted need more education and listening and all these other things. We'll see if DeSean Jackson does that too. And actually, the Eagles encouraged him to do that. This isn't just going to be a simple, hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do to live that I'm sorry? The big question, you just mentioned the word accountability. Should there be some? Will there be some? I don't know how I feel about what can you do? I mean, isn't he facing some sort of embarrassment, punishment anyway? Should there be more?
It is the worst accountability right now. I feel like what he's facing right now, the punishment of just the outside world, and I'm sure the conversations stemming from his teammate that are about to transpire, those are great consequences, okay? And I just want to make one thing clear. I was never looking when Drew Brees said his stuff. I was never looking for for Michael Thomas, for Emmanuel Sanders to come out on Twitter and say, I can't believe he did this. I was looking for Malcolm Jenkins to go on this long rant, and use some profanity to get his point across. I was hoping once again, I wasn't looking for, but I was hoping that those conversations took place in the locker room at least, right? Because that's where the progress is made. Yeah, sure, we had all these tweets and everything, and these players spoke out, past and former players, and current players as well. But, I think the change came from Drew Brees with those private conversations in the locker room. So I hope that's what's going to happen with DeSean Jackson. The consequences, right? What should become of DeSean Jackson now? What needs to happen going forward?
Just signed a 3-year contract with the Eagles.
Exactly.
Second stint with the Eagles.
Exactly. And once again, it's in the eye of the beholder, right? Because I can sit here and say, well, you know what? Riley Cooper, a couple years ago, actually more than a couple years ago, Riley Cooper from the Philadelphia Eagles at a country concert, drunk, belligerent, screaming the N-word, okay? And to be fair, I don't think he was suspended any games. I don't think he was suspended any money. But you know what? You know what his punishment was? He had to go face his black teammates and say, I'm sorry, and this is why I said it. To me, that's punishment enough. I think right now
we're in the league much longer after that, too.
Very true. I think where DeSean Jackson's at right now, and to be fair, Brent, those comments probably didn't help. If he was a free agent, probably didn't help him getting another job, right? And maybe it's the same could be said for DeSean Jackson now, where if he leaves the Eagles, maybe another team will be hesitant to bring him back on as a wide receiver. We'll see. But I'm thinking right now, with those conversations you're about to have, especially, with your management, who is Jewish, the owner, and I think the GM as well,
yes,
that's going to be punishment enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know if it is. I don't see them doing much more than that. We'll see. We'll see what happens with DeSean Jackson. Hopefully I mistakenly didn't say Deshaun Watson along the way here. DeSean Jackson, Eagles wide receiver, coming under fire earlier today as well. Brett Martineau, Austin Lane, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. And these conversations, but it brings you up from the last few months to what's actually going to transpire on the football field. The conversations in a locker room in the NFL might be as deep as they've ever been.
Who are you telling?
And I do think this is a big part of it. I think this is on coaches. I think it's on all coaches, not just the head coach, team captains and leadership, because these are powerful conversations. These are deep conversations on a lot of different levels. Heck, last few years, I think we've had pretty deep and sometimes head-button conversations on political views. Well, this is even beyond that now. These are social views, from movements to controversial statements like this from DeSean Jackson to even how people feel about the pandemic and playing. So this is going to be one of the most unique locker room settings, not just in the NFL, across Major League Baseball, NBA, everywhere else. But I do think you get, because you have 53 guys, and it feels like from so many different backgrounds and beliefs in the NFL, it feels different than Major League Baseball to me, and a lot different than the NBA, I think, because of the size of the rosters. It's going to be very unique and challenging, I think, for all. I try to get the sunshine and rainbow side of this. I don't think it will be a problem necessarily. You don't have to look at this as being a problem just because you're having deep conversations. I just think it'll be very unique. It'll be totally different. It's different than the locker room you played in. I know you guys had some conversations.
Sure.
But I'm not sure
we're
you
also
had
quoting Batman movies and we're quoting a bunch of just pointless stuff
and
as well.
And it's a great point. I'm not trying to say you didn't have the depth of conversations that some of these might take place. Maybe you did.
We did a little bit, but not to this extent, though.
But I also think it'll be important at some point to have some moments of levity in locker rooms to break up that. I think we all need that at times, right? I mean, we hopefully have been able to provide a little bit of that. I know we've had to discuss some of these issues, but even on our show, we try to bring a little bit of that. What's the sports side? Forget all that other stuff for a little bit.
Sure.
Well, I think the locker room might need a little bit at that times. And again, I wonder if coaches, team leaders, others are planning those kind of events to almost work it into the week.
You have
to be like, hey, let's go watch Dumb and Dumber, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Listen, and I've said this a couple times on this show, but this up and coming football season, this is going to showcase what head coaches are made of. This is going to be the ultimate audition for the head coaches of each NFL team, because you mentioned it, Brent. It's about the culture, right? And it's about, listen, there's different types of philosophies in the NFL, and there's different types of head coaches. Some head coaches are great at defense. Some head coaches call the plays. Some head coaches are just primarily for the quarterback. There's different types of head coaches. But the head coach's main job, and I don't care what team you're on, is to make sure that, those 53 guys in that locker room or those 90 guys in training camp are all on the same page, are all believing in the same thing, and that's to try to win a Super Bowl. Okay? That's the goal at the end of the day. And I think with everything going on right now, with obviously opinions varying on COVID-19, obviously maybe some opinions still varying on Black Lives Matter, all these different things happening right now, and keep in mind, it's also an election year, so get ready for some of that as well. All these things happening right now, it's the coach's job to make sure that his guys are in line and ready to roll. And I think this is going to be the year, pending that there is going to be football, where we're going to see the guys who can escalate, who can take their teams to the upper echelon, regardless of who's playing, regardless of who has COVID-19, regardless of all these crazy outside influences. This is the opportunity to see what coaches are really made of, and I'm excited for them.
Well, I also think, and that brings up the challenges of the Jags, right? Potentially what happens with the preseason. But see, this is a little bit of a taboo thought sometimes, especially in the NFL or in professional sports, that chemistry matters. See, and I think chemistry you can overrate a little bit, but you can't tell me it doesn't matter. These seasons are usually too long. I'm convinced the year the Red Sox finally won the World Series, their chemistry, you could sense it. You didn't have to be in the locker room. You could see it. You could sense it. Does that happen every time somebody wins? I'm not sure. Looking back at The Last Dance, was their chemistry always great? Maybe not. Maybe they were just great. Yeah. So, again, I do think it can be overrated. But I do wonder this year if that is a big part of it. Your successes on the baseball diamond in a 60-game season where you have to win and win quick, win right away. You can't feel this thing out. The NBA, where we're already into the playoffs, where you got to try to figure some of this stuff out, stuff that didn't exist before you left. And the NFL, where you got to get on board in a hurry. You didn't have the time of the spring, and you're taking all these different young men and putting them together on a team. Chemistry might be a huge part of success in 2020 on a team.
For the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's the only thing in my opinion right now. And it's what I'm preaching day in and day out on those Zoom meetings if I'm Doug Marrone, because keep in mind right now, Brent, The Jacksonville Jaguars, youngest team on paper. History shows when you have that, you don't win a lot of games. The Jacksonville Jaguars, the past couple years, have had problems in the locker room regarding culture. Now, maybe some of those problems that have caused that are gone, but still, history remains. So obviously, that's a red flag right there. The Jacksonville Jaguars trying to implement a new offense, possibly put in a new defense. Oh, and by the way, they haven't even been in the same locker room together yet. So there's a lot of things that are counting against the Jaguars right now. The one thing that they can have going for themselves when the season finally starts is the chemistry.
MLS is back tomorrow. Major League Soccer.
Let's get it.
Will you watch it?
I mean, I watched like 2 hours of the Eagles on ESPN, so I'll watch anything at this point.
But it kind of is in that bucket.
Yeah. It's in the Eagles bucket.
Fulham won today, by the way, if you want to know that.
Nice.
I'm up on it.
There you go.
And all the talk, we didn't get to UFC. We'll get to it.
No, it's all good. I understand where we range.
I mean, are they fighting tomorrow?
No, they're not fighting tomorrow. They're fighting on Saturday.
I leave something hanging every show.
We got plenty of time to talk about the UFC.
You don't think I want to get to UFC? I'm in the promo.
You are the promo. Do you know that? You're
I
in
didn't
the
know
back.
until you shared that.
Yeah, you're all over the place.
I was all over that
nuts.
shot.
And where am I? Pouting in the background, sitting down. This is what I signed up for? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about UFC tomorrow. A big one coming up.
Yeah.
Fight Island. Hope you have a good rest of the night. We'll see you on TV, CBS 47 and Fox 30. And thanks for hanging with us here on ESPN 690.
First Take, your take.
You see injuries happen every single week that end seasons, potentially end careers.